Live from beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. Folks, Hockey Night Scottsdale. If you're just joining us, well, fuck, we just started. Eat Daddy Swish, yours truly from the couch here in beautiful North Scottsdale. Tapping in tonight, Heat Daddy. What game we watching right now?
I think we're going to tune into this Florida-Detroit game. Two interesting teams. Florida off to a little bit of a rocky start. I don't know if you can call it a rocky start. They're 4-3-1. Detroit is just flat out nasty. I think they're good, 6-3-1. But, you can never count Florida out, especially with a guy like Kachuk on the roster. I think this
Matty
game,
Kachuk.
Yeah, I think this game might have 100 goals in it, regardless of the goalies, to be honest.
Yeah, and just kind of echo off what you were saying about Detroit there. I think they got a great team. I played for that coach, Derek Lalonde, a.k.a. Newsy Lalonde. We won a championship back in 2012 with the Green Bay Gamblers as this game just gets underway. Great dude. He's hilarious. And I think the Brinkat coming over, man, he adds a lot to that first line, especially with Larkin. They seem to really feed off each other. So, yeah, we'll see what's popping in the Motor City tonight. Obviously, the Panthers a little bit banged up on the back end with McAvoy taking the chin off of OEL, but looks like he's playing, even though McAvoy got a 4-game suspension.
Yeah, I think that was a ridiculous suspension. I mean, I think it was a clean hit to the head, and in this day and age, 4 games. Gary's just tossing out suspensions left and right. Pinto 41 games, McAvoy 4 games. If OEL is playing in this game, shouldn't be 4 games.
How does he get 4 games when a guy comes back the following night? I mean, I get it if his chin, was still sore and maybe he was still in the concussion protocol, but he's back in Motown tonight snapping it around, and McAvoy's sitting on the couch when they're playing an original 6 matchup, which game we're going to get to later in Toronto at home. So I don't know. The punishment maybe don't fit the crime, brother.
Yeah, I agree, Swish. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, talking about bringing the white man down. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it could have been a game, but I think 4 is excessive as Detroit has the puck in the zone. Good pace already this game. They're snapping it around here.
Yeah, I love their systems. They play, that Tampa Bay kind of style. You see the 3 high up there. They're able to use those 2 D-man and get the, one guy in the middle of the ice to really set that kind of that tripod or triangle offense up top. And like I said, this line is buzzing with Raymond, DeBrincat, and Larkin. So be an interesting matchup tonight. And for as good as a guy – the captain on the other team, that Barkov is, guys always talk about how nasty he is. And I'm not saying I'm a good player. I'm just saying, is he that good? Like, he's really good defensively, but is he a guy that's a top 10 player in the league? Like some of these guys talk about. I mean, I've never skated with him, in a practice, played against him maybe 1 or 2 times, but he's a guy that I want to watch tonight to really see how he stacks up against this Detroit team in that first line.
You're talking about Barkov, right?
Barkov.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a hell of a passer. For me, it goes into the playoffs, right? Like, he's not a Kachuk. He's not an absolute menace in the playoffs. And for me, until you're a menace in the playoffs, I have a hard time putting you in the top 10. That's just me.
Right. Just throwing both ways.
Ooh,
point of game kind of guy. Yeah. I don't know. This Detroit team, man, I even like a guy like Shane Gostisbehere in the back end, number 41. I think that was a great get, especially playing on that third pair, but he can play first or second power play. I really liked his game ever since, playing against him at Union. I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, I do too. I like how silky he is. Like you said, he can quarterback the power play. I like a defenseman with an offensive mindset. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm always taking the over, and anyone that's going to get me a goal, like, I love you. So,
right.
When it comes to guys like Gostisbehere, I think I was actually really happy he revived this fucking game. Like, because he was almost written off after Philly.
Oh, yeah. He was almost Kyle Rittenhouse off. I mean, he was a guy that he was the Philadelphia Sportsman of the Year one year. And then the following year, I remember he was getting scratched every other game. It's like, what's going on? Why isn't Gostisbehere, back at his normal pace? Because that one season he put up 61 points or something like that, 65 maybe.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, especially these days where it's so social media driven. Everyone's attention span is so ruined that you can go from 60 games to 60 points in a year as a defenseman to nearly being exiled from the league. And it's just like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I'm glad he got back to Arizona. I'm glad he got back to a chance to revive his game. And I'm a fan of Gostisbehere. I really am.
100%. And you make a good point there where, you could literally go from 60 points to 10 the following year. It all depends on your power play, what the team makeup is, what your role is. And you even saw with the guy in Chicago with, Eric Gustafson, right? Like he was almost out of the league in Chicago when you're with Patty Kane. He had 60 odd points. As Clem Costin, aka Killer, goes to the box.
So sick.
I played with this kid in San Antonio, a little bit in St. Louis. He is a menace. We've talked about him on the show before. He's a guy that came to the American Hockey League at 18 years old and was trying to fight every heavyweight on every team. And it's like, Clem, what are you doing? He's like, I fight, I am okay.
Yeah, he's a hilarious player, and what I mean by that is he gives me like Barabanov vibes, where he just throwing his body around, getting to the dirty areas, but also he can contribute in the offensive zone, so that's good. As here's Barkov kind of walking in by himself there.
Yeah, we got a nice look at this Florida Panther power play. I mean, a lot of good bodies on this one. Kachuk, obviously Reinhart in the middle. Anytime you got a guy in the middle of the ice that can score 30 goals, it opens so much more up on the other side of the ice. It's crazy.
Yeah, I like that play where they sneak it to the middle and let a shot go. It's extremely hard to defend.
Who's 17? Oh, that's Rodriguez. I forgot they signed him. That's a pretty good pickup. I don't know if I'd have him over there triggering on the, I guess that's kind of the righty they got over there. But yeah, he's a pretty good little pickup. Nice underrated piece to a good team.
I don't know if I like that play right there. And for those of you watching,
oh man, nice save.
For those of you tagging along with us, we are at the 16:40 minute mark in the Florida Panthers Detroit Red Wing game. I gotta say, I don't like that last play by Evan Rodriguez. And look, I'm a guy on the couch, but when it's 5-on-4, bender, you're snapping it around. There's no screen there, right? I guess he's shooting through a defenseman, but at the same time, it's like try to snap it around backdoor. I don't know. I just don't like that shot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, anytime I think you can get a one-timer on a power play, it's not a bad idea. But you're right, though. There was no screen. I think if you're there, you got to be tickling the ceiling and you got to be trying to shoot bar Mexico because you're really shooting a score, right?
Yeah,
not for a rebound.
No.
And, Florida right now, they got OEL working the point. He's a great player, a 20-goal guy. I don't think he's that anymore, but they're missing a guy like Brandon Montour, right, who had the hip surgery in the offseason because he's really the quarterback of that unit and really can snap it around. And actually, he's so sick at getting the puck through that first wave at the top of the key. Like, he just finds those little areas. Remember him in that Toronto series?
Yeah.
How sick he was with all those goals he had?
Yeah, he was really pissing me off because I had Toronto in that one. But, yeah, you know what? I completely forgot about that, about him, actually. I haven't watched Florida too much. But, yeah, he's another guy. And I'm going to use the word again, menace in the playoffs. He's just doing everything. He's fucking – at one point, he's skating down the wall 100 million miles an hour, and he's backhanding at top shelf. It's like, where did this guy come from? But yeah, he's a great player, and they're definitely missing him.
Right. A guy shout out to one. I know I'm biased. I got a buddy on this team who has not got into a game yet on the Florida Panthers as Verswaggy shoots the pill and covers it up by who's their goalie? Is that Reimer? Who the hell is that? It's not James Reimer.
It's not Mrazek, is it?
Is that Pistol Pete? I mean, Husso's not in the net. I'm so bad with goalies. That's one thing I do not know is netminders. But folks, if you could help us out, who's Detroit's goalie tonight? I am just terrible with backup goalies. It's no offense. I just don't know him. Obviously, Billy Husso is their starter. And look at Kachuk, man. Could be game 7, 8, 12. He's just always chirping. He's chewing on that mouth guard like it's a piece of double bubble. Like, I don't know. This guy, he's always engaged. He's a guy that just brings his whole team into the fight, no matter if it's a Thursday in Detroit, at the Elbow Room in Fort Lauderdale at a bar. He's just always chirping.
Yeah, and if you're new here, we do check out the comment section. We're just going to wait till a commercial break. But yeah, who the hell is in that? There's a fucking post. Holy hell. He got bailed out there. Is that Reimer?
I think it is James Reimer. Why am I doubting myself? That is Reimer.
In Detroit?
Yeah, James Reimer. There he is. Yeah, God. That's what I thought.
He had an insane year 2 years ago in San Jose.
Yeah,
and
Jimmy Reimer.
Yeah, a little bit of inside information. They tried to trade him, and they couldn't. I'm not going to say any more details, but they tried to trade him. He blocked it. And, he's back in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
A good save there. Talk about a guy just stretching out his career. And I think for a guy like Reimer, it's a little bit of the Toronto aurora around him. You go there, you kind of get nagged on by the media, and everyone thinks you're done. You go to a different market, and you can play your game better.
100%. And I think that's a tough place to play in the mecca of hockey, especially being in the Toronto, right in the 6. I mean, you got every show on TSN is basically based around the Leafs. So he gets out of that market. He goes to San Jose for a little bit. You kind of just get off the grid. Then you find yourself a nice little role in Detroit. I mean, as a backup goalie, you're going to play 20 to 30 games a year, maybe 35. As long as you're in and around that 900, save percentage, that's a job you can keep forever. And Bob, they pay 7 figures for those slots, so it's not a bad little life.
Yep. I'm gonna tweet it watching Florida.
And we're getting a nice little look at this first line with Detroit, DeBrincat, Mace, or Lucas Raymond, not Mason, no relation, and Dylan Larkin. Larkin's just absolutely torching it. So fun to watch. I really like this Forsling defenseman. I played against him in the minors back when he was with Rockford.
Ooh.
For whatever reason, they kind of buried him there in Chicago. He ended up signing with the Florida Panthers, played a year in Charlotte, lit it up, and then he's been in the show as a mainstay top four ever since. I think he's a guy that has an absolute bomb, which I know he does, but a really heady defenseman, Swedish fella.
Yeah, I like him. I like his game. He's a good player. As here's number 91, Ekman Larson's wearing 91.
Yeah, he stole it right from Dookie. Shout out Anthony Duclair over in Man Jose now. Those boys yet to win a game, but that's neither here nor there because we are in the Motor City, folks, live from the couch in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona.
Anthony Duclair playing his 500th National Hockey League game tonight at Madison Square Garden.
500 matches. He started his career there. He's back in the mix. That's a guy. I love his game. Sick shootout moves, breakaway moves. He's an electric type player, and it just sucks that he's not on a team that's going to be contending for probably the next decade. But I think it's a contract year for him, so maybe he can land something next year.
Yeah, I think he's got to get out of Man Jose. And you know why they call it Man Jose? There's a lot of dudes.
It's a lot of dudes. You go to a bar, folks, in San Jose, California, and it's what we like to call a wrench fest. You're looking across the bar, and it's just all dudes, and then a couple girls that maybe floated around from Silicon Valley that are working at Google, and they're probably, respectfully about a soft 3.
Yeah, respectfully, though, of course. Look at the goals. A funny little stat about Frank Vetrano. Frank Vetrano has never had more assists than goals in his 10-year NHL career. That is hard to do.
He's a guy that every year I look at, like, going for the Cy Young in terms of, like, 34 goals, 4 assists. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy that he literally puts up Cy Young-like numbers as a starting pitcher because he just shoots everything, and everything he shoots seems to go in. I remember that one year in the American League when he was coming up before he actually made Boston. I think he was a goal a game or over a goal a game. You know how hard that is to do in the jungle? I didn't even score a goal maybe once a practice, Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. He has a hell of a shot. As here's
that's Andrew Kopp. Yeah.
Oh, Andrew Kopp carrying it over the line.
He looks slow there, eh? Fuck. Paying him 5 and a hook.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit's got 0 shots on net. I'm assuming maybe they came off their Halloween party. I try not to bet on the Halloween area.
Yeah,
just because that they're snapping it around for Halloween and it looks like they look really slow here tonight.
They look a little stung. Yep. You never know, especially right around that. Like you said, you get those Halloween parties. You put the costume on. You have one too many chilly ones. You're at home. You feel comfortable. In Florida, they're scrappy right now, right? They're playing a little undermanned. I think they're kind of fighting for their lives, especially early in the season. And yeah, we'll see what happens as Austin Zarnik takes the pill over the blue line. He had a nice little play last time we watched Detroit. Remember that?
Yep.
Oh, Ghost. He's just
good move at the blue line.
He's sick.
Ooh, I kind of like that right there, even though it's about to be nope.
Gustav Forsling gets that pill. Get that thing deep and go find it, folks. Christian Fisher with a nice little wall work there. That's why you pay him to play on your 3rd or 4th line, folks. Just a heady forward that can play in the bottom 6, penalty kill. Shout out Fishy, friend of the show, Old Town legend here in Scottsdale. So Fishy, keep snapping it, fella.
Yeah, Detroit looks a little out of sorts here. I'm going to have to go ahead and confirm that they had their Halloween party. And, some of these guys, it doesn't even matter to them because they're so young. They don't get hung over. But that's not the case for everybody, especially, yeah.
Dude, how big of a psycho is Ryan Lomberg? I remember playing this guy, and he was with the Stockton Heat. He would literally forecheck a defenseman like to the 4th row behind the glass and just absolutely run him. Like, he's a nut job. He used to play in Muskegon when I was younger in the USHL, and he was crazy. Then I'm like, who is this psychopath? He would just like hunt the puck, like he was like in the middle of the jungle. It was crazy.
Yeah, he's a psychopath. I love how he just rocks the flow too. Like, he looks like the lead singer of Nickelback. Shout out to Chad Kroger.
Yeah,
he's a guy you want on your team. You don't want to play against him.
No, you like look at him in the face too, and he's just not all there. Like, it looks like he's like on a 3-day acid bender, and he's just on the sheet, just skating a million miles an hour, trying to throw an elbow into anyone's chin. It's actually insane. He's one guy I'd love to have on my team.
Ryan Lomberg. What the hell was Becklin thinking there?
I don't know. Here's Barkov, little cutback. That was a nice move. Oh,
tons of space. Good play by Reimer there.
Yeah.
Optimus Rhyme with the active stick.
Active stick, folks. That puck goes 200 as Nico Mikkola picks it up. That guy, fuck, he should have a welding shield on and a lacrosse defensive stick because he's strictly a PKer. What a big body that Finnish unit is.
And folks, I think we're gonna switch over when the game starts over to the Maple Leafs Bruins game. I think
Yep.
I think that's gonna be the move, right? At 4:30. And
Yeah, we probably got about 10, 12 minutes here before that game gets going right now. Just watching the fellas in the Motor City. Look at Dylan Larkin with his nose over the fucking dot, like a young Jarrett Stoll.
And if you guys have any questions, comments, you're watching the game with us, we haven't had a commercial yet, which is pretty insane. But we're going to get to those on a commercial break as Kachuk digs out the puck from the circle. He's in the corner.
Mo Sider, nice little body. That's a big dude there. This Anton Lundell kid was actually – so his dad was our goalie coach with the IFK Helsinki team when I played there in the Finnish league. And this kid would skate with us like before the season. It was going into his rookie year. I'm like, who is this guy? Because he's absolutely nasty. Oh, my God. His Sider lays the boom. An old school open ice hit, folks. You got to love it.
Yeah, he got laid the fuck out. That was great to see. I was actually just talking to today to Scott Hartnell about how like he sees guys in the league and poking around with their stick too much, and he's like, I would have flattened that guy. I do miss how physical the game used to be. Like, that was awesome right there.
Yeah, and he was a guy that was always looking for that, as Sprong just almost gets sprung for a breakaway. Yeah, Scotty Hartnell, shout out to him, man. He was hilarious to watch. Even just like his hairdo and warm-ups, no bucket on, and just like you just knew he was just going to try to absolutely run someone on the sheet.
Perfect for Philly. As Andrew Kopp trying to stuff it in. Andrew Kopp looks a little stung too. He must have been on the piss for sure.
Yeah, his visor looks a little more tinted today. He had the trainer throw it on because he was probably a little stung.
It's gonna be a nice.
Yeah. 9:40 to play here, folks, in the first period. If you're following along with us, we are watching the Detroit versus Florida Panther game. 0-0 shots, 9-2 Panthers early. Detroit honestly looks a little hung. We're not sure if they had their Halloween party, but the boys are sweating it out early. Live on Bally Sports. We're watching this on ESPN Plus. Hockey night in Scottsdale as Ryan Lomberg is on the left wall. My God, that guy is a menace.
Yep, he is. And if I'm the Panthers here, going to want to throw anything at the net, jump out with a lead while Detroit is kind of on their heels and just get the guys not motivated to get out there next shift. I mean, if you let them stick around too long, maybe they get a lucky one on their third shot on net. Bobrovsky's probably cold right now. If you're Florida, you kind of just want to throw everything you can at the net and get that lead. And all right, we finally got a commercial. That was a long time.
Yeah, that was a long one, but folks,
take it to the comments here.
Take it to the comments. We're talking missionary. What's up, folks? How we doing out there? What do we got in the chat tonight, baby?
All right, let's start from the top here, and I'm kind of looking. We got what's up, you fat little pig. Thanks for that. We're gonna go to the next question here. Nice cacti, bro.
They love the cacti. Yeah, folks, this is decorated like an Airbnb over here in Scottsdale.
All right, this is kind of a crazy one. Thoughts on Gretzky implying the Adam Johnson injury was done intentionally? Did you see what he said?
I did not. No. What did Gretter say? Did he say that it was intentional?
He said the so-called accident live on TNT. I bet you the producers were pissed.
Yeah.
He goes, the so-called accident.
I agree with him, though. I mean, I don't think it's a hot take, Rob. Was he trying to kill the guy? Now, I know this is a touchy subject, and it sucks for everyone involved, but I was talking this with my co-host of my podcast, Live in 5, yesterday, and I just think at that time where he was, in that situation, I just don't think the skate comes up that high if he's not trying to catch a piece of him. Now,
yeah,
is it a reactionary play? Does he regret it? Absolutely. Did he want that outcome to happen?
No.
But I think he was trying to, in that split second, catch a piece of him because he overskated his check and he wasn't that far off balance. And it just sucks for everyone involved, the family, even that Petgrave, the Petgrave kid that, did it. It's tough, man.
Yeah, this is what I think. I think if you watch the clip, and obviously it's really tough to watch, he for sure tries to stick his leg out and clip him.
Yep.
And like you said, I don't think that he wanted that outcome. Nobody wants that outcome. How does the skate get that high? Like, I don't know.
It's tough to say.
I don't think he tried to kick him in the head area.
No.
He tried to get his leg out, and regardless, it was going to be a dirty hit. I mean, if he goes low, you're looking at knee on knee or whatever. But Yeah, really tough situation. I think Gretzky kind of just called it how it was, which I do respect Gretzky saying how he really feels, because that's tough to do, especially in the hockey world where everyone kind of keeps it
Right.
hush hush. But
And,
yeah, I think
and you
it was a dirty play with a really disgusting, like, unfortunate outcome. Yeah.
right. It's just it sucks for all parties involved. And I think every guy that's ever played hockey at a decently high level was saying the same thing, right? Like he's not trying to do what the outcome was. It's unfortunate that I think that's preventable is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. I just it's really tough to talk about because
Right.
it's like, we're talking about someone's life right now,
Yeah.
but I think I don't know where you go from here
But
regarding, like, neck guards, right? Because it
right,
never happens.
right.
And people always say, "Well, why doesn't everyone wear neck guards? Why doesn't First of all, to me, they're really uncomfortable, and I know that
Oh, they're brutal.
your safety is more important than comfort, but they're really uncomfortable, and second of all, this never really happens, right? But, yeah,
No,
I guess they do have to take a look at it. I mean, it's tough.
I mean, I even
It's
know like playing in like a lot of European leagues, especially in Finland and Sweden, they recommend or they basically have implement a rule that you have to wear a neck guard. Now, when I was
Oh,
playing over
really?
there, I was like, "There's no fucking chance I'm wearing this. You can find me every game." But you see, that could happen to anyone, man, and then not in so that instance, but a skate where and normally you see it when it comes up high when a guy gets hip checked or along the wall, and there's
Mhm.
a guy skating by, and all of a sudden the skate flares up. I mean, even last night, did you see that hit with Clayton Keller and
Yeah,
Radko Gudas?
Gudis, yeah.
I mean, that was inches away from his chin twice. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you knock on wood, that never happens. And but you know what I mean? It's just it literally is a game of inches, and so is life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's crazy that something like that happens on the ice because it brings you back to like, wow, this is fucking it's pretty fragile out
It
there,
is
man.
really dangerous. I mean, dude, I'm surprised, and for everyone just tuning in here, we're at the 8-10 minute mark in the Florida and Detroit game. We're gonna be switching over to Toronto, Boston in just a second. But for the fact that even guys are teeing up pucks at the point and it can easily get deflected, I'm
Yep.
surprised more pucks don't hit guys in the face. And like
Oh,
you said, knock
100%.
on wood, like, you never
Yep.
want that to happen. But it's fucking crazy how dangerous the game is.
Oh, it's insane in that. I mean, not to now that we're at a commercial break, we can kind of keep talking about it. But I played junior hockey with a guy named Max Hartner, and before he went to the Air Force base and played at Air Force, he took a skate to the face. We were playing the U.S. National Development Team, the U18 team. Rob, he took a skate all the way across the face, over his nose, and it was 3 layers of 75 stitches each. And
Oh,
you should see this scar he has still to this day because his skate came up and cut him right across the face. And like, thank God that wasn't his neck. But
dude.
you know what I mean? Like he literally looks like he's like the Joker now.
Yeah,
It's crazy. 10 years later, he's still got that massive scar, and it was insane. The cut, man, like it literally almost made me fucking puke on the ice because it was disgusting how much blood there was.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you want a good scar, the ladies love it, but when it comes to a scar across your whole face and you look like you just got out of prison, you don't want ones like that. But
No,
yeah, like you said, it's the nature of the game. It's crazy that happened. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that guys it doesn't happen more. But yeah,
yeah,
I don't know what you do here. I don't know if you go make everyone go full Thomas
you
Placanich.
go plucky turtleneck. You know what I mean? I saw TJ Oshie's company is now selling all those neck guards, like the one piece, whatever the Tillo or whatever the company's called. I would think about throwing the neck guard on him, but at the same time, it's like time passes and I hate to say it, you guys kind of forget about it and you
Yeah.
just kind of go on and guys ultimately would rather choose comfort versus protection. It's crazy to say. I know it's crazy to say, but look, most guys don't wear earpieces.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like your ear could be, fucked up at any point where you
Yep.
could lose all your hearing and even from a hit, you know
Dude,
what I
you
mean?
take a puck off the ear?
Or
You take a puck off the ear?
skate, butt end, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it is
It's a
crazy.
dangerous game, brother.
It really is a dangerous game. I actually just got back on the ice. Actually, I'm not even going to get into it because we're coming out of commercial break here, and we're taking a look at Barkov's numbers. And traditionally on the show, every time we say somebody is potentially in a little bit of a slump, they end up doing well.
Yeah,
So
they usually just shove it right back in our face and say, "How do you like me now, folks?" 7:55 and counting in this game as we are in the first period over here in Motor City, featuring the Red Wings, the home team, the Spoked Wheel versus the Florida Panthers. David Perron puts a puck on net, and he has over 1,000 matches and a tinted visor. Great style from DP. Shout out to David Perron. Absolute beauty. Played in St. Louis a little bit with him. A Cup of Joe. One of the best toe drag releases I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't blame him for wearing that tinted visor. I played in mullet for the first night this week,
Yeah,
and it is so bright.
how were you out there?
I felt good.
Did you?
I felt weirdly, besides being completely out of shape, I felt really good, like on my edges, my hands, a little bit. I
A-
sent a couple breakout passes 10 feet ahead of guys, and after that, though, after a
Any
couple,
guys you knew out there, or was it just kind of like a random crew of beauties, or was it
oh
like a
yeah,
good crew of dudes?
oh yeah, it's former ASU players, the D1
Okay,
guys. So there was
okay,
some good guys out there. There was
yeah.
a couple guys I think played in the coast. I don't know.
Okay, the cheddar,
Yeah, there was
easy
some
come,
guys.
hard to leave. I'll have to get out there and snap it around with you. I haven't been on the ice in about a year almost, man.
Yeah, definitely. I think next week there's a skate as
Yeah. Show up with a flask of Fireball and see how you do. You know what I mean? A little Irish coffee on the bench. How you doing?
yeah, such a nice rink to play in too,
Yeah,
especially
Mullet's.
for me.
Yeah, we're actually heading to Mull tonight, folks. We are doing a live hockey night in Scottsdale, and then we're going boots on the ground for Coyotes, Montreal Canadiens. We are working tonight, folks, bringing you nonstop action, whether it's from the couch, at the rink. But if you haven't seen my tweet, we have the Jay Swish foreplay of the night. I believe that was Toronto money line. Austin Matthews, anytime scorer, over 6.5 for the Coyotes Montreal game, and the Heat Daddy with over 5 rum and cokes. He says he's not drinking. He says he's been on a 5-day bender. I call bullshit. He'll be at Moxie's at 11. How you doing?
Oh man, you know what? I'll tell you this. There's nothing more I hate in the world, and I know we're trying to comment a game right now, but there's nothing more I hate in the world than getting on a plane hungover and I have a flight tomorrow. It's something about being in that metal tube in the air and getting jolted around by the clouds. And I really, really hate flying hungover.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost the biggest motivator for me to not tip a couple back tonight.
right, because if you had a couple of night, then you'd have to get drunk at the airport tomorrow.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's only one way around that, right? Like you're going to get drunk at the airport. Now you're having screwdrivers at 8 in the morning. And now, you know, whatever you got going on with your significant other, she might be mad because you started the weekend off early. But folks, we're going to commercial and we're going to be heading over to the Boston Bruins game right now. So
Yep.
going to wrap this one up. We'll take a little bit of a break, about a 10-second break here. Watch Barkov snap this one back, and we are going over to, I believe the game is live. Is that on TNT or what?
I'm gonna look it up here.
Folks.
ESPN Plus, but it's ESPN Hockey Night, so I believe everybody gets it, which is good. I'm gonna fire out another tweet right now that we are now switching over to.
Folks, it is Hockey Night at ESPN, but more importantly, Hockey Night in Boston via the Scottsdale Fellas. There is a little bit of a short break here as we're almost live. Mason Lohrei making his debut tonight. Kid out of Sauk Prairie, Wisconsin. Friend of the show at Butter Golf. He was a Butter Golf Scholastic athlete last year when he played at The Ohio State University. He signed an NLI with us, paid him the fucking big bucks. And yeah, he's actually making his debut tonight because Derek Forbert, one of my former defensive partners at the University of North Dakota, is out with an LBI. That is a lower body injury. Forbes has taken the night off. I believe he'll be back in the mix in the next couple of days. I talked to Derek today. Feels good. He's just got to rest a lower body ailment. So, folks, Mason Lohrei making his debut tonight. We'll see how he does. 6'4", throws both ways, left shot. Pretty nice little defenseman back there. Has a lot of skill. So,
we switching over.
I mean, it's not.
Oh, it's not on yet.
So I'll go back to that other game.
All right, looking at the. Yep, we might make it to Friday. Shout out George Costanza, regular commenter. Gavin, you rocking with me and my lady dressing like the wet jeans boy? Yes, appreciate it. Or what? Big Nip says Butter Golf. That's absolutely right. This episode, this live show is brought to you by Butter Golf.
Yeah, and I mean, Heat Daddy, you ever since you've been repping the Butter Golf, a lot of wet jeans listeners, you know, you can kind of see people say like, how'd you hear about Butter Golf in the comment section after you buy something on the website, and they say wet jeans or the Heat Daddy or, you know, the Heat Daddy show. So good to see that, you know what, you're doing your part with Butter Golf, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like the product. I'm wearing the hat right now. I'm a huge fan of it. Everyone's been asking me about this hat. Everybody. It's insane. Like everybody loves this hat.
And I've had like 4 or 5 inquiries about it. And I'm like, guys, I only do those for special orders. So if you want to order 12 of them, I'll do them for you because it's a full custom order, right? Like I'm not just going to make you one of them.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know
You
what I mean?
can't. You can't do that. Business is business.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's good to see. It's always it's nice to see when you work hard at something and you create merch or you create a design, and there's a whole process. There's a whole process behind merch that people don't understand. Like you got to get the samples, you got to make it right, and if it's not right, then you got to get a new sample, and then you got to deal with the stitching and make sure it's quality. There's a lot of logistics behind the scenes. So when you get done kind of creating a piece of a merch or item or whatever, and people like it, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's just not a hobby, right, Rob? This ain't no picnic. We're trying to make this a multi-billion-dollar, we're the next Edzo and Jonesy, as someone tweeted us today, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Someone said, Robbie, tell Jordan I couldn't get him that 10% ownership of my Coast team, but still open to getting him that 500 a week to make his return to the Ched show. I don't know what that means.
That kid was messaging me today on Instagram. Shout out to Gavin Hill, I believe. He's a longtime listener, first-time caller of not only Live and Five, but I think he's a big wet jeans guy. So, yeah, man, as Kachuk massages the pill and just misses high and left. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be making 500 a week. I'm not sure if that really makes my nuts tingle. And I say that with all due respect. I do love the game, but yeah, maybe we can work something out. 10% is a little steep, I think. Maybe 5% equity in the team,
In the actual team?
Yeah. There's I believe it was Wichita in the East Coast Hockey League.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So Gavin, I think he works for the team. Gavin, do you work for the team? Do you own the team? Are you the photographer? I've checked out your page there, fella. What's your affiliation? Are you a player? Anyways, as Klim Kostin kind of just beats that puck up like into a square. This is an interesting line here. We got Zarnik, Fish Daddy, and Kostin. Got a little bit of everything here. Mucker, grinder, loose puck finder, they'd say.
And we just had puck drop in Toronto. I don't know. Do we change it now?
Yeah,
I'm going to make an announcement.
We're going over. We got to get off this game. No offense, but we got 34 on. Folks, we are now live from the TD Bank Garden in I believe it is the north end of Boston, maybe not the full north end, but we are live from the TD Bank Garden in Boston. We have Boston, Toronto. This is one of my picks. I had Toronto money line. I believe you could got that at plus 110 if you started early. And Austin Matthews, anytime scorer. So Boston, Rob, hottest team in the league. Great coach, Jimmy Montgomery, beauty. What do you think for tonight? Boston's down McAvoy. Toronto's been struggling to score goals. Do we like Toronto? Do we like Matthews? Talk to me through this one, baby.
Yeah, you know what? I think the Leafs have a history of struggling with Boston, but I think, like you said, McAvoy is taken out of this tilt in 4 games, which I think is a little bit excessive. But Toronto's at home here. I feel like they're going to bounce back. Their last effort wasn't the greatest, so I feel like they're going to be a good team to always bounce back. So I think Toronto has a slight edge in this one. And I love to see AM34 tuck one just because you called it, but I'm also agreeing with you on that. I think Austin Matthews, anytime goal scorer, is a certified ultra lock.
Yeah, it's not like we're acting like we're fucking, we got the genie in the bottle over here. The guy had 60 rips one year. And I mean, he's almost scoring a fucking goal a game at one point. So I think he's just a guy that I think whenever the lights are a little brighter, he always shows up. And I think this is a game he's probably had circled in the calendar to start the year, especially, you're looking down the big board and you're like, oh, fuck. Boston on a Thursday, hockey night, ESPN. I got to do something. I mean?
And that's my bad. I said Toronto was at home because I saw the dark sweaters. I actually knew they were on the road, but I saw the dark sweaters and I was like, "Fuck, are they at home?" But it looks like Boston's going back to the whites at home. But yeah, I completely agree.
Did you see 34 sign that deal with Prime? That is Jake Paul or Logan Paul's company.
Paul, yeah.
But I mean, the guy, he's spreading hockey, baby. He's the face of the game. It's crazy to say that McDavid isn't. I think McDavid on a play level probably edges him out, but I think Matthews, in terms of like a cultural icon, I think he's the go-to guy, man.
Definitely. I mean, he's gonna cross like 1 million followers on Instagram
for
soon,
sure.
Which is like not to make it all about followers, but I think it's a good measure of how popular you are. And for a hockey guy to have that kind of pull on Instagram, like that's a big deal.
Right. Like you're tapping into a different area code, right? When you get to that 7-figure mark, especially even as a single guy is unrestricted off the ice, like you're getting a different level skunks than you are than a guy that has 250. So, you know what I mean? So, Matt, shout out to Poppy as we are at the right circle. Charlie Coyle snaps it back to Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk, I believe, playing in his 900th game tonight. He's had a great career. Great steady defense that can run a power play and a good dude. Locker room DJ beauty. So Shout out to Kevin Shattenkirk playing his 900th match tonight as a part of the Boston Bruins. Played college hockey at the University of Boston University, mind you.
Yeah, it's crazy to see Boston be this good still with like Bergeron and Krejci leaving, but they just have a good culture in the room and guys that work hard. And here we go, 34 Poppy rushes up the ice, sends it to Marner, who gets it in deep. And who's that in there? Is that Yarncroc?
Yeah, I got Kelly Youngcroc playing on the right side. So who is playing in the middle?
Oh, no trip there? I don't know.
Oh, that was a heavy hit there. That was a good hit from Kelly Youngcroc.
What a classic matchup, too, Boston-Toronto.
Yeah.
They're following along. We're at the 17:25 mark.
And I love these sweaters from the Boston Bruins, too. Like those old school cream, as we see Mason Lohrei take his first shift of the game. I think he's number 5 or 6 back there, big, lengthy defenseman. Be interesting to see how he does. Again, get out of Sauk City, Wisconsin. That's right by me. So oh, wow, that was a nice little move there.
Try right there, I like that.
Who's absolutely buzzing there? Who's 18 on the Leafs? Who is that? That's that Gregor guy or whatever?
Yeah, Noah Gregor. He is so fucking fast.
Absolute buzzsaw. My God, was he humming down the wall?
If his hands could keep up with how fast he is, and not in a bad way, but like the guy gets like 5 breakaways a game. It's insane.
Yeah, he's almost got that like Michael Grabner to him, right? Where Grabner would get like 48 breakaways a year and he maybe score 12 of them, and he'd end up with 12 to 15 goals, but he could have had 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a buzzsaw. Wow, he's playing on the 4th line with Reeves, and
he just got out of Man Jose. I'm sure he's happy about that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the guy, but
oh, for sure he is going to a contender a little bit. So Boston's playing that Mitchell kid tonight too. So they must. Oh, I guess Charlie McAvoy's out. Yep. So McAvoy and Forbert out tonight. Insert a couple of young defensemen back there, and Lohrei and that Ian Mitchell kid who played with the Hawks a little bit, kind of up and down in their system. Played for Jim Montgomery at Denver. So there's a connection there.
Got to get pucks on net here. A lot of play in the neutral zone. Here's Nylander, absolutely nasty, over to Bertuzzi.
Love his game. For a guy like Nylander who has 6 goals, 6 assists, and 8 games thus far, like his stock is going up every day, like it's Apple in 2005. Like what does a guy like that get on the open market? Oh my God!
Jesus Christ,
Pasternak, Morgan Riley,
just put him in the
fuck. That was like his first hit in like maybe 10 years.
It came out of nowhere too.
Brick killed a guy.
Absolutely rattled the glass. I think there's a couple birds sitting back there. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's taking a liking to one of those fine ladies in the behind the net there, because he just absolutely rocked Morgan Riley as 15:24 remaining in the first period here. But yeah, what would you say? Yeah, I mean, I think Nylander, fuck, man. I mean, it's got to start with a 10, no?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think every day they don't sign him, Brad Trevling doesn't sign him, I think he goes up. I think he's closer to 10-5, an $11 million player on a 7-8-year deal.
Yeah.
And I think he could get probably 10-8 on the open market. So now what does he take in Toronto to kind of stay there and they convince him to win? Is he a guy that would take 9-8? I don't know if that makes sense for him. I really don't, because I think on the open market, he could get, $11 million bucks. But what's the difference, Rob, between, say you get, 9-7 versus 11 even? Like you're giving what, $8 million a year? I mean, it's still, it's a lot of money, but if it's like 70 to 80 million, like fuck, man, to win and stay in a city you love, like, is that worth $6 to $8 million bucks for him? It might be.
I think it might be. And guess what? Do a Geico commercial, do a commercial. Whatever.
Right. Yeah, or just
hit a parlay.
100%, or just be Willie Styles and somehow just find your way into a A-list kind of crew.
There you go.
Get paid somehow. I don't know. There's other ways to make money.
Yeah, I mean, walk on the Saint Laurent runway.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, I don't know how much they get paid for that, but I think if I'm Nylander, I would stay with this core. I mean, it's easy for me to say, but like you said, when you get that much money, it's the same. It's like having 25 is the same as having 40.
Right. Like you're not getting what does that get you? You're still flying private. You still got $100 million in the bank after this contract and the next one. I mean, for me, like, so you say you get $11 million. Who's going to really pay you that much money on a team? Because all these teams are against the cap, right? Like, so now you're going to a team that's like a mid-level team, and maybe you don't produce as well. Maybe even if you came to like Anaheim or, it's not the mecca of hockey. It's not Toronto. It's not a team that's going to, hopefully win and get over the hump here and playing with your buddies.
Pasternak was on a mission right there.
I love to see that.
Yeah, I love to see that. But yeah, going to the comments now, commercial break, not a chirp at all. Nylander doesn't seem like the guy to take a discount. He held out until like December last time he was at RFA. Okay, I will say this though. If you're a Nylander and you're not getting respected as far as your worth goes, You have to do that shit, right? Like, you're not gonna roll over and just say, "Oh, okay, you guys think I'm worth 6. I'm just gonna take 6." It's like, you gotta be like, "Guys, like, what the fuck are we doing here?" Like,
Well,
I perform in the regular season. I perform in the playoffs. Like, give me what I'm due.
well,
Everyone said it was an overpay too, and it's not an overpay.
Well, especially when your buddies that you had comparable numbers to were getting 10.8 and, whatever Matthews got at like 11.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he shouldn't just roll over and just have to chew on like $5 million because Kyle Dubas doesn't have any money to give out. Like ultimately he had to take a number that he still was underpaid.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he was holding out just to be like a CUNT. You know what I mean? Like, he was
No.
holding out because he was getting severely lowballed. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see what happens, right? I mean, man, I mean, he has to take a discount. There's no other way around it for Toronto. Like, they don't have the room. So I mean, I could see him hypothetically switch. Let's say he leaves Toronto, right? What are a couple teams you think he would be a good fit in?
Well, he's a big market guy first and foremost. So I think Willie Stiles, knowing him personally, I mean, he's a family friend of ours and a good buddy with my brother. And I would say I'm decently good friends with him too. I mean, I've spent summers in Stockholm with the kid, and I know his dad. He was my agent. So with that type of background and knowing the player, like he's a big market guy. He's a guy that can't just come to Arizona. He can't go rot away somewhere. He couldn't even play in Carolina. He's a guy that needs the bright lights. He needs a place like New York City. He needs Toronto. He needs a big market team, Chicago. But like, say you go to Chicago and you get 11.5. Like that team's not going to be good for
No, I wouldn't do
6,
that.
7 years.
Yeah.
No, but who's got the money in the cap space to pay him? Not many teams without a significant trade. So I think with this team, with Tavares coming off the books in a couple of years, there's a way you could pay him, but then Marner's do. So I don't know, man. It's going to be hard to find room for him. You just
agree.
Hope the cap goes up.
Yeah, he's got to go to the Rangers or LA or something like that. I totally agree. I actually didn't even know that you knew him, but just even from a fan standpoint, like, yeah, the guy, you could just tell off the ice, like, hold on here. We got
Giordano's still throwing his body around as a 40-year-old veteran, gapping up in the neutral zone to finish a guy along the wall right in front of his bench. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. But yeah, just knowing him, like, he spent time at our house in Wisconsin. Like, he played with my brother growing up for the Chicago Mission. Like, this kid, he's a bright lights type of kid. Like, he needs the spotlight as he just intercepts a pass here. He's probably gonna score. He wears 88 in his name, Styles. Like, like that's all you need to say.
Absolute stud. Just saw on Twitter that Oshie is wearing a neck guard.
Yep. Yeah, he's promoting his own company,
right?
Too.
That's kind of a weird move. Promoting your own company after something like that, I don't know.
It's a little weird.
I'm biased against Oshie though.
Yeah, Lenny. But
I don't know him personally, but for one incident, I can't forgive him. But
yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, he's a good family man, good Sioux. Like, you would like him if you met him. He's just like,
if I ever met him, I would actually tell him, like, hey man, it's not personal.
Right.
Call you a dirty player on the internet.
Right.
It's just this one play bothered me because you hurt my buddy.
I mean, he does have that cold shoulder. And if you looked at him off the ice too, Robbie, like that guy is a guy that absolutely hammers guys because he's kind of scrawny a little bit. Like,
really?
And he's just a unit. Like, he would fuck me up. And I got 25 pounds on him. Like, he would fuck me up. He's just like got that native strength. He's got that Indian in him. He's got that Sioux Indian. And,
does he have Indian in him?
Yep. Yeah, his dad, Coach Oshie, shout out RIP Coach Oshie. He was a beauty. He was a full native, Warroad, Minnesota. So, yep.
That makes a lot more sense now.
And he's good at everything he does. Like, unbelievable.
All right, folks, we got 12 minutes remaining in the first period. We're watching Toronto-Boston. A little bit of a slow pace. Only 4 shots on net for Boston, 3 shots on net for Toronto. And, yeah, I mean, this is a classic matchup. You really hope you see goals. We need a goal here. We didn't have a goal in the Florida game. And what up, Chen? Where are you guys checking from? T. Spence? Yeah, exactly. Not a chirp. I totally agree. Definitely not a chirp, just an observation. But yeah, shout out to the guy named Piss. Shout out to the guy named Chen, Rattle Rage, or Rattle Ranch. Rattle Rage. Thanks for joining the chat.
Yeah, what do we got from the chat here as we are approaching the 11:45 marker in the first period here, live from TD Bank Garden? We have the Toronto Maple Leafs visiting the Boston Bruins. As I believe, that was Marchand that whiffed on that pass. This is a nice little line here. You got Charlie Coyle in the middle, Brad Marchand on the left, And who was that on the right side there playing? Oh yeah, Jake DeBrusque.
DeBrusk.
Yep, great player. Wanted out because Butch Cassidy was he just couldn't handle Butch anymore. And then ultimately Butch has to pack his shit, and he loves it. I think he's loving life again, right? With
Yeah,
Jimmy
won a
Montgomery.
cup. Yeah, it was interesting. Like Pasternak was floating around with the idea of testing the market, and Bergeron was not going to come back, maybe, and then Cassidy left, and all those guys are like, "All right, we're done." So clearly, something happened in that locker room where they weren't a fan of Cassidy, but I don't know the details. So
Right, Cassidy leaves, and they end up. I mean, he ends up winning a cup, so it's like
pretty crazy. Yeah,
kind of like, how do you like me now, right? As we are approaching the 10:40 marker, if you're with us, joining us, whatever the hell you're doing, we are live Hockey Night in Scottsdale, folks, from the couch. Boston, Toronto, pretty physical game, honestly, to start. I mean, if you see David Pasternak throwing his weight around early in the game, this game is got a little bit more at stake than a normal regular season game.
Yeah, I mean, and also, who the hell is wearing 85 for the Leafs on D?
85?
Yeah, 85. Did I see that right, chat? Can someone in the chat let me know? And T Spence, thank you for loving the stream. Hell yeah, appreciate it. Nadon, shout out to you too. And Chen, thank you for listening to the pod and tuning in. We appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, like I don't want to call it a litmus test, but if you're Toronto, like you want to get out, everyone wants to have a good start, right? You drop a couple games, your scorers aren't scoring, you got to come out and make a statement. And look, we're already in November here, so it's time the grind starts now, really. I mean,
yeah, they always kind of say, Rob, like right around Thanksgiving is kind of when you know what your team is, or most teams that end up making the playoffs, if you're in a playoff spot by Thanksgiving, kind of that third of the way through the season, you kind of know what your team is. Obviously, there's outliers like St. Louis Blues in 2019 where we were dog shit and they ended up winning the cup. But most of the time, right around Thanksgiving, you kind of know where you're at. Like you're either hitting the panic button, the old Dick Panic, Richard Panic button, or you really know, okay, we might have a chance here, and we got to position ourselves, especially going into the Christmas break and right around the New Year, of really playing our best hockey down the stretch. So right now, you're kind of still feeling your team out. You're feeling out the new systems. Maybe you have a couple new guys inserted in your lineup, but most teams are really starting to build after that 10-game marker.
Makes sense.
Kind of where we're at.
There's a shot from Tavares off the shoulder. A lot of shots from the outside right now. Just both teams not letting any play happen in the middle. As here's Poitras. I still don't know how to say his name. Poitras.
Hocus Pocus, yeah.
Oh, good back check by
Yeah,
Bertuzzi
I really like his game, and they announced the other day that he's going to be staying for the time being. Won't be going back to junior, so good for that kid, man. Came in and just made a noise. Oh my sauce!
Oh my Papa John's! That was incredible. Right on the tape.
Sweet baby Ray's the sauce is the boss. Poppy with a shot on net there. Oh my God, Willie Nylander with a side of honey barbecue. Jesus Christ, that was sick. Yeah, it might have been a high twig. I hate Morgan Riley's tape job. I love him as defenseman, but like fella, like you got a set of mitts. Throw something on the toe. No,
you're gonna hate this. I don't tape the toe.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
that is full Danny Heatley.
I like a couple strands on it.
Yeah,
that's respect. Not like just like started at the heel.
I don't even tape the heel.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
like Jamie Benn kind of esque.
Yeah. So I started doing it as a joke when the account took off in junior. And I went out to practice one day with I think it was 6 strands or 5 strands, and I really liked it. I like feeling the puck, and I just rocked with it. And
it comes off different though.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, so you got to get used to it, especially the toe. You know, but.
Yeah, because I for me, I would go full Robert Lang sock. Like I wanted as much tape on that blade as possible because number one, I'm going to be playing defense, and I need tape any chance I get, and at the same time, I need to be able to pull a last man back toe drag at any given moment. You know what I mean? Because that's what I want to do. Because I don't actually want to I don't want to embarrass the other guy.
Right.
I'm thinking this forechecker's coming on me. I don't want to just make a play. I want to embarrass him.
Yeah.
That's that William Legdison guy. He was in Edmonton, that number 85.
Yeah,
he's all right. He's a depth guy. Kind of just whacks it up the yellow like he just did.
Yeah, just rap. I used to hate when guys did that,
but
every time, I don't mind the rap, but if it's not necessary, you see a guy. Here we go. As Ryan Reeves starts some drama, after the whistle. Dan Harding, good to see him back in the NHL.
Oh my God, Witherspoon's playing. How many? Who else is out for the Bruins? They got 3 DL.
Oh, Grizzlick.
Oh my God,
Grizzlick's out.
Got half the Providence Bruins playing tonight, folks. That was actually a good bet. Leafs money line. I like that. I didn't know they had 3, so let's see if they can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, if the Leafs can't get it done this game, it's a problem. And like you said, it's not even Thanksgiving, not gonna hit the panic button. But yeah. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you, T Spence, for letting us know. Where did I get the tinted visor? I think I got it off Amazon.
Yeah, you always need a little tint, little like Mike Jones and the song "Still Tipping." 5% tint, so you can't see up in this window. I think you always need a little bit of tint on that visor. Just it's so swaggy.
Yeah, how's the night going? Pretty good, man. Just commenting the Bruins Toronto game, riding Leafs with you. That's good to hear. What's up, fellas? How's it hanging, fellas? It's going good. We're on a commercial break.
How many people we got in the chat? How many people we got on YouTube? Who is all watching out there tonight? Obviously, we have Thursday night football. How many people we got?
I don't know anymore what the 23. So we got 23 in here in the chat. But on Twitter, we're kind of having a lot fluctuate in, fluctuate out.
Right.
It says 23 on Twitter too, which is low, but it also only has 26,000 views, which is weird. It usually has more, but go ahead and give it a little couple retweets here and get this thing going.
Yeah, we're still early in the game here, folks. If you're tuning in wherever the hell you are, and honestly, we do it for the love of the game. We do it for those people watching out there. We try to provide a little bit more in-game entertainment than you're going to get anywhere else, folks. That is Thursday night live from Scottsdale, Arizona. Hockey night in Scottsdale. Brought to you always by the Heat Daddy and Butter Golf, folks. We are watching right now Toronto at Boston tonight. After the game, we are actually heading to Mullet Arena to watch the Phoenix Coyotes. Well, now the Arizona Coyotes battle the Montreal Canadiens. So that game will be at Mullet Arena, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. We're going to watch this until about 6:30, then slide over there for some boots on the ground. In that game, I have the over 6.5 goals. So we want to see a lot of goals, Heat Daddy. We want to see our boys, Nicky Schmaltz, Clayton Keller get on the board, but also a guy like Cole Caulfield.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to want to see, especially in Mullet, too, when you're sitting in there. And I know a lot of people make fun of Mullet Arena, but sitting in there and watching professional hockey, NHL hockey nonetheless, it is absolutely a pace that you can't even believe. I mean, it's full-blown Lamborghini in there. You really get nice and tight to the action. So I really love it. I hope, Kells gets one, Cole Caulfield snipes one. You want to see the Stars play well. That's why we go to the game here.
I mean, that's why you play the game, and that's why you're at the Mullet Arena, where it only seats about 4,000 people. It's the iconic Mullet Arena on the beautiful ASU campus. Yes, it's a very intimate experience. It's there's not a bad seat in the house. I actually really like watching a game there, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool experience. I think to see National Leaguers that up close and personal is only a bonus. It's like you're watching, a college game, an American Hockey League game, maybe even like a USHL game. So that tonight will be a good match. Canadians riding high after a good win in Vegas. Mullet was buzzing on Monday as Spicy Tuna O'Brien had a Gordie Howe hat trick. Shout out to our boy Tuna because he's a beauty. He took a couple on the chin from Nick Foligno and then ended up scoring one off his toe and then had an apple. So Gordie Howe for Tuna.
For everyone on Twitter, all 116 people now in here, we are watching Toronto, Boston live from TD Garden, even though we're not there. 6 minutes, 49 seconds remaining. If you want to follow along with us, as Ty Domi's son enters the zone and chips it to, Riley pinching, misses it with the baseball swing as we have a breakout here. I don't even know who the hell that is. Like we talked about, the Bruins have half the AHL team here. I know Trent Frederick, shot by Carlo, redirected to the point. There are a lot of missed nets in this game. Over to Riley. Riley's going to skate the puck out of the zone. A lot of time and space and gains the red, and he's got to get off. He's at the end of his shift there. Tavares, the student of the game, takes on two Bruins in the corner, and he's going to box them out and get it over to Giordano, who now puck's really bouncing around there today. I don't know if there was an Ariana Grande concert there last night, but I don't know what's the deal with the ice, but the puck is really moving around. Not much. Oh, it's a bounce off the stanchion. I think that stanchion's broken from when Pasternak put Riley into the 6th row.
Folks, yes, if you're just joining us, sorry about that. I had to snap a couple Instagrams, tweets out. Shattenkirk playing in his 900th match tonight as he massages the pill over the red line. Wow, he's skating pretty well for a guy born in 1989 is a 34-year-old, I believe Kevin is. Had a hell of a career to this point. As Willie Styles breaks free. Oh, man, he was going low blocker. Fuck. Low stick side where Mama hides the Campbell's Chunky in the lower cabinet there. Wow, that was a good shot. If that was on net, I think he would have beat the netminder there. Willie Styles is going to want that one back. But, folks, it's been a pretty tight checking game, if I'm being honest, Daddy. Not a lot of room, not a lot of real estate out there. Everything has pretty much been outside the dots to this point, besides that last chance there by Nylander as Pastrnak kind of lost an edge. Pretty funny that Pastrnak and Willie Styles, they both played in Sweden together, and now they're both wearing number 88. They were drafted the same year. A couple of guys that kind of play the same style, you know what I mean? Really good buddies, and it's just funny because, like, you know, same kind of just swag, 88, you know, tinted visor, like, oh my god.
Oh, another fucking hit by Riley.
Oh my god, who was that? What do you hit? 19.
Who is that?
Could be a younger fella, no?
Who is that? Toronto, Boston has like half their fucking roster out today. I don't know. How about the Bruins 8-0-1? Every time I just see a 0, just like, what is going on with this team? Like, Boston is really getting spoiled with their play. And I know at the end of the year, it wasn't great. But all right, folks, we have a commercial break. We're going to take it to the chat here. What do you guys got for us in the chat? And yeah, that McBain and O'Brien Howe hat trick. Yeah. And dude, Jack McBain could have had a double Gordy hat trick if he fought one more time. He had 2 goals, 2 assists,
he did. Yep.
1 fight.
Imagine the double.
Has that ever happened before?
I don't know. I mean, the double. The only time I ever really hear about that is if you're at In-N-Out Burger. You know what I mean? Like,
In-N-Out kind of night.
I don't know. Like, if you imagine you would have had the double, that is insane.
Yeah.
2, 2, 2. How are you? That would put you in legitimate legendary status. Why didn't he try to chuck?
I don't know. If I was him, I would have been asking like everybody to go, and then if they didn't want to, if it comes down to it, I would have jumped the guy.
Jump him, yeah. I mean,
he'll probably never get a chance to do that again. Double Gordie Howe hat trick?
No way.
I
mean, no disrespect to him, but 2 and 2 for him. I mean, I don't know if that'll ever happen again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no disrespect.
That's a lot of points for a big fella. Like, he's a good player, but 2 and 2 for anybody in the league is crazy, right? And then to let alone maybe chuck him twice. I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you, chat. Number 19 for the Bruins is Johnny Beecher.
Oh yeah, he's kind of a half gun. Played at Michigan. He's just a north-south winger, up the wall. Can really fly.
All right, we're back in here to Boston where they removed all of the ice girls and they only have ice boys. And I'm sure the city of Boston is not too thrilled about that, knowing the personalities of people in Boston. What do you guys think about, we'll answer one more real quick. What do you guys think about Ryan Hartman and his signing? Also had a Hattie the other day.
Great player. I think he doesn't realize how good he is. He's a kid that actually played with the Chicago Mission growing up, the same organization me and my brother played with for AAA hockey. He's always been a really good player. I think he's really blossoming into like this next phase of him being a 30-goal guy. Can he do it again? I think so. Man, I think he's underpaid, to be honest. Somebody signed for like 4x4. Like, he's a guy that could really, I think, if he scores 30 again, he's like a $6-7 million player. So, but always just Ferda, like he's a Ferda guy. The last deal he took with Billy Guerin was a little bit of a discount. He took like 1.8. So I think he's just a dude that's just Ferda. He's a big time beauty.
Yeah, as we get the puck drop here in Boston, and we have TJ Brody, who I don't know how he's been playing. I really haven't watched too many.
He's just a human clock killer. You never know when he's on the ice. You never know if he's not on the ice. He's just kind of out there, right? He's got the Harry Potter cloak on, right? Walking around Hogwarts, and he's kind of just, you don't really notice him, which is not a good thing or a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
as a defenseman.
It's definitely not a bad thing.
No. TJ Brody over to Mo Riley. Okay, so they're kind of working this Sheldon Keefe system here where they go 5 a die. So they really spread it out. You know what I mean? They got 2 wingers on kind of both, almost on the goal line, but like dot with one guy in front of the net and really spread the defenseman out. They love going 5 a die, as they call it.
If you're Nyes there, you got to find a way to get in front. I mean, I know he's getting boxed out, but you have to find a way to get in front and just caught. Like, you can't let Omar. Is that even Omar or is that Swayman? Either way, you can't let him see that like that.
Yeah, we're not goalie guys over here at Live. That's Swayman, but we're not goalie guys over here at Hockey Night in Scottsdale. We are a I wish I knew goalies. I just don't know them. I know players. I don't know goalies. As we are back live, Giordano down the wall with a nice pinch. Gotta love a wrap job by Liljegren going D to D, and just a full wrap around the sheet in the offensive zone. I don't know if that was high.
I don't know. I don't think that was a high stick. That's bullshit.
I don't think it was either.
Pasternak with the little chip off the glass. Look at him. He's like, that was not high.
How sick is his knob too? You know what I mean? Like he just tapes it like it's like a candy cane. Like this guy does not give a fuck.
Yeah, I love how Bertuzzi does he pulls his jersey up and shows off the elbow pads.
Yeah.
Like that's so much steez.
Yeah, like a young Darcy Tucker.
Yeah.
So does Willie Styles got that thing a little pulled up too. And I was talking about this the other day on a pod. Like there's only a certain amount of forwards that can go tongues up. You know how guys go tongues down like Bertuzzi? But Willie Styles and even my brother, they go tongues up.
Out, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Normally that would be like a defenseman that's just like a plumber. But to be a certain swag, some guys can do it, is that tongues up, and I just love that style.
Yeah, Nick pulls it off well too, and so does he.
Yeah. It's very rare though. You can go tongues up and look good doing it.
Definitely.
Oh my God,
look at how sick he is.
He's so sick, man. Oh my God. He just laid that in the absolute breadbasket for that Legson kid. And he just teed it up.
Klingberg. Klingberg's been weird this year, man.
He's a weird player, man.
Why do you not get that to net?
Crazy that he turned down 7x7 in Dallas.
Oh, dude, it's like, who's the guy in the Indiana Pacers that did that? Remember?
Yeah.
He turned down like an $80 million. Was it Oladipo?
Victor Oladipo, yeah.
He turned down like an $80 million deal, and now he's making like 9 a year. Just like, dude.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think he is. I think he's like a $2 million player with the Heat, and then he was hurt last year. He's like on the veteran minimum. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Matthews a little speed there. I don't know what he's doing, but you know what? This game just looks tight right now. I think it's a little – they're kind of just feeling each other out. As crazy as that sounds, as there's 2 minutes left in the first. I think it's a little bit of a chess match. There's probably long video sessions today, you know what I mean, kind of going over what they need to do. Big game, rivalry game. It's just emotions are a little bit more spiked when you go into these games. As Marner brings it over the net. Oh, that's a hook.
I'm pretty sure that's a hook these days.
Yeah,
you got up
any league, I think that's a hook.
Oh, good setup.
Good pass. Yaron Krok. Oh, you got to dish that for the 1T over to Matthews, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Got to get it to the trigger.
He's wide open.
Snap that down. Oh, no. Snap it down, man.
No one in front again. Like, well, there's someone in front. He's tied up.
You're just getting boxed out. I think Marner's got – I mean, listen, I'm telling the guy that had 100 points last year what to do there, but I think he's got to give that to Matthews just right off the back door.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like
they change sides with the puck and then maybe bring it on the other side.
I mean, Bruins looked a little pinched in their own zone. You have full possession. I agree. Keep the play going and try to create some open space. And
right, as we see it again, like a muffin from the dot, like with no screen.
Oh, I hate that.
And I mean, look at how many guys are on the inside there too. They got 4 guys to their 1. Like I think you're bringing that over to Matthews. You change sides and you try to find something on the other side. But again, I'm telling the guy that 100 points last year what to do. So I'm the jackass.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It doesn't help that he shot it right in his chest. But
no, but I mean, like how many guys can score no screen from there? You know, like maybe like 4 or 5 in the league, and he's not one of them. Like, he doesn't have that twisted wrister.
No, we got a minute 29 seconds remaining in the first period. Yeah, definitely a slow start to all the games that we've watched so far. There's a good save by whoever the hell is in that. Samsonov. Heinen gets to the point. Carlo. What an absolute feed by Brandon Carlo. And everybody looking out. Everybody thought he was going to shoot, and he slid it over for a one-timer right in front.
Right to number 18, who is that Beecher, right?
Beecher.
Again, we were chirping him. What do you know? We were chirping the kid for being an absolute plumber up and down the wall. He gets on the board. Oh, no,
I love his effort behind in here.
That's Daka. Great play. Oh, Lorai, too. Is he getting an assist?
Yep.
Lorai, shout out to Lorai. That's a great feed there.
Look at that. Yep. Just threads it through.
Geez, Samsonov really out of the cage there, kind of swimming, honestly. Really overcommitted to what he thought Carlo would probably put it on his strong side pad. And he was able to find Zaka right in the middle of the ice there for a nice little high tip play, Rob. The old high tipperoo, fella.
Yeah, perfectly executed. If I'm Klingberg there, I'm want to step up and maybe block that shot, but it all happens so fast when you get down on one knee. And you kind of want to be careful when you're doing that in front of the goal. You don't want to create a screen, but I think if you close that gap there, Klingberg, it's not really his job to be in the high slot, but I think he could have blocked that.
You just got to get under a stick, right? Yeah. It's either got to be boxed out or you got to take sticks. You got to get those things lifted up. And who is hurt on the Leaf decor right now? Would that be Jake McCabe, I believe, is out because for that Legson's playing? I haven't seen him out there, right? Because the left-handers are Legson, Mo Riley, TJ Brody, and Giordano, and Brody's playing on the right. But, yeah, so Jake McCabe must be out. But, yeah, as we watch this play back, Yeah,
Klingberg was there.
Klingberg, he's got to get under the stick though.
Yeah.
What is he doing? He's just watching him. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy. Like, can you win with? I mean, I hate to say it. Can they win heavy hockey games with Klingberg and Liljegren on the right side?
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I mean,
Liljegren, I played with him in Toronto with the Marlies. He's a great player. He's a young, promising defenseman. He's been in the system forever. He's a former first-round pick. But he's a guy come April. I don't know if I want him in a 5-6 role. And I don't know if I want Klingberg in a 5-6 role. You have to play heavy hockey, man.
Yeah.
You really do.
They
I was a guy that could play heavy hockey, you know, so it's tough.
Dude, like the Leafs, they really need to find that like guy that'll anchor.
Right?
I'm not saying they need to go find a McAvoy. That's not going to happen.
Oh
but
God,
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God,
is that Klingberg
Oh
too?
no, that's Liljegren. Man, we just chirping him. He goes down. Jesus, that looked like a bad leg injury, man. Oh, that did not look good. Oh God,
he conkied or he
no,
just slipped?
That's a foot injury or something, man. That's knee.
That
like
looks bad.
He went. Oh my God, yeah, he went like ankle or something, knee or ankle. That looked horrible. How he went into the boards there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he was flying into the boards there with 2 skis going into the boards. Those boards don't move; they're concreted in, folks. Oh my! Look at this.
Marchand ties him up. Bit of a. Everyone's gonna say Sulfa.
Oh my God, fella, that is horrible. Dude, do you think is that a little dirty or is that just real time?
Because it's Marchand, they're gonna say Slewfoot. Yeah.
Dude, that looked horrible. Chicken parm, that wasn't a knee, bro. That was an ankle.
Oh man, you hate to see that, dude. I mean, I guarantee you on Twitter. What do you think, chat? What do you think about that?
I think that's a hockey play at full speed. I think Liljegren's got to have a little bit better awareness in terms of kind of slowing your skis down going into the corner. Now, again, very easy to say from the couch when a guy gets hurt. But to me, that he was flying in there, bro. I don't know. I guess you're competing for a puck, but you know how you, as a defenseman, a lot of times you kind of slow up and you absorb that contact before you get to the puck.
Yeah.
Right. There's 2 ways to do it. You can fly in there, or you can kind of get that guy in your back, slow down, really push into him, and then you kind of create separation where you're able to make a play on the puck. To me, that looked like he was just going full tilt, and so was Marchand. He's like, fuck, I'm putting this guy into the 4th row.
Yeah, I agree with Dave Jackson. Like he didn't kick his leg out like a slew foot. It had the positioning of a slew foot, but he didn't kick out. I think it's just
right.
Man, yeah, that's gonna
and Marchand, he's trying to make a play on the puck too, so his stick is there, so it kind of kicks it out as well. I don't know. I think that's just competing, Heater. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the game. That's the National Hockey League. That puck means that much to these guys.
Yeah, that's tough, and we're gonna take it to the chat now for intermission. I'm gonna scroll. Oh, Thursday Night Football starting. Have a good night, fellas. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out Leafs Twitter right now. Let's see here.
Well, that's not great for my bet there. 47, 1-3 if they score first over the last 3 years. So, yeah, we'll stay with that and go from here. But folks, that was the first frame live from the TD Bank Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. 1-0 on a nice play. Zacha ended up scoring from Brandon Carlo, and rookie making his debut, Mason Lohrei, got a second assist on that play. So awesome to see a kid from my neck of the woods of Sauk Prairie, Wisconsin, just outside Madison. Good buddy, friend of the show of Butter Golf. We actually signed him to an NLI deal last year and was a Butter Golf athlete. So Lohrei, fella, good on you. First apple, congrats. As we go to the studio with AJ Malesko and John Butchergrass.
So in the chat right now, somebody said that Leafs Twitter is going to be furious. Let's just go over that Marchand hit right there real quick. It's obviously going to be somewhat of a story because it is Brad Marchand, who has a history of doing stuff like licking people. And I like it. I actually really like Marchand. I think he's a guy that came out of the woodwork. He was in a highly touted prospect. But on that play switch, can you just reiterate what you think? I mean, you played in the league. What do you think Marchand aside, when you see a play like that.
Right. Speaking on 43 games of experience and battling through the jungle, aside from that, yeah, I think that's a hockey play. I think that's two guys, like we were saying a little bit before, competing as hard as they possibly can, skating full tilt into a 50-50 puck. And yes, does he get a little slew footed or does his stick kind of come into play while he's reaching out for the puck to try to get first possession and first touch on it? Maybe a little bit, but from there, that's no penalty to me. That's two guys going hard into the wall, and sometimes, Heater, as you know, that's the result.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it's not really a motion with his leg where he kicks it out. Like, it's not full PK Subban, right?
No.
When you see Subban, aka PK Sluban, when you saw Sluban, Slufa guys, I mean, you see his leg really kick out, and he
Yep.
really kicks guys like behind his leg. And I know PK Sluban used to say, "Oh, it's a habit, but yeah, it's also a dirty habit." Now, it is Marchand, like I said, but I don't think in real time there's any really kick of Marchand's leg out from Liljegren. So I
No.
think it's an unfortunate play. It looked really bad. Hopefully it's not too bad, but that's like such a dangerous play. Like, getting back to how dangerous the game is. It is such a dangerous sport.
I mean, you're going into an end wall that is cemented into the TD Bank Garden Arena, where those boards don't move, as you know. Those things, there is no giving to them. And I think like Marchand there, is he trying to get him maybe a little bit off balance? I mean, he is such a heady player. He might be. You know? Is he trying to do that? No chance. But he's just going into a puck. He's trying to, compete, get to that puck on first touch. And sometimes that happens where, I mean, it's happened to me as a defenseman a million times where your skates get taken under you and you just hope that that's not the result where, you can kind of maybe get a touch on the boards with your hands or maybe you can kind of tuck your knees and brace. But Liljegren, like I like to say, he was at the point of no return and his ankle or knee ended up eating the end wall there. And you just hope that, it's not long term because for a guy that has had a similar injury like that going to the end wall, and I missed time with a high ankle sprain for about 7 or 8 weeks, to me, it looked like an ankle injury. Now, Chicken Parm was saying on the call that he thought it was a knee. To me, it looked more ankle, just the way that it snapped. So be interesting to see how that pans out. I'm hoping he could maybe get taped up, take a Percocet, and come back out for the second period, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I haven't had a high ankle sprain. I've taken a puck off the ankle where it's just like it won't heal. But they are just the worst, man. The ankles just suck. And I did have ankle surgery. I said it before on the show, but me and Antonio Brown have the same ankle surgeon. So shout out to Dr. O'Malley at the Hospital for Special Surgery.
Ferda. Yep. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. You told me that story actually when we were up in Grand Forks. I thought that was hilarious. You and fucking AB, aka Always Boomin', have the same ankle. Well, you got the same surgeon, I guess, same specialist. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think I don't know how I got a hold of him, or I didn't do it. Obviously, my mom was involved, but I don't know how I ended up getting surgery from him. But my mom must have been lied to him and said hey, this guy. It happened when I was in the 9th grade, so she must have lied to him and said hey, this guy is probably going to make the NHL. We need a really good surgeon on his ankle. Right. Little did they know I have the most concrete boots in the world. So who knows?
Right. Yeah. I mean, your mom definitely pulled a couple 6 strings there and got you a decent guy. And it just, if you would have had the boots, Heater, you never know. Shout out to Emily Kaplan. She cuts over to Mason Lohrei, talking about his apple here.
Yep.
Well, I mean, listen. What do you think here? You're giving them layups. I get it.
Shout out to Emily Kaplan, though. I do like Emily Kaplan. I met her in Vegas, and a lot of people online, they're like, not shit talker, but they'll say, I don't know. I don't think too many people shit talk her, but I met her and she was a fucking absolute beauty.
So, yeah, I remember you saying that she was, having a couple chili ones, not afraid to get after you. You love to see that, especially with someone, in the industry that kind of has a same level of I'm not scared to have a couple chili ones.
That's the thing though about TV personalities. You really never know because especially when you're working for ESPN, someone as liberal as them, you gotta basically put on a huge front and be this person and off the camera and off the mics. Guys like me, I can be who the fuck I am on the camera. I don't have ESPN breathing down my neck. You know what I mean? But
right.
Emily Kaplan, you don't know what the hell she's like in real life. And yeah, she was great. So.
Right. Yeah. Just as a couple freelancers sitting on a couch, like you can say whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? We don't have to be actually Craig buttoned up, as I would say.
Yeah, I could do fucking a line of.
You can do a
I
line of whatever you want
right now if I really felt like it. But I'm gonna take a whiz here, so I'm gonna hand it off to Jay Swish while I'm taking care of business and clearing some cap space, and I will be right back.
Folks, Heat Daddy's heading over to Cap Friendly right now. I'm going to drain the main vein. And as we are approaching, I believe, 10 minutes left in this intermission, hit us up in the chat. You know, ask us some questions, chirp at us, whatever you want. You know, what's going on out there today, baby? I appreciate that. The ATR Thug 12 Jordo Live and 5 is great. Thank you, fella. I appreciate that. We dropped our episode today with my fella sitting to the right of me in Bob Gucci, the Heat Daddy. Had him on. Great interview. We snapped it around before with my co-host, Gage Osmus. So that's always fun. Those come out every Thursday, brought to you by Butter Golf. Butter Golf is my company. Wearing the jersey right now. I got the hat on, crispy rice. Yes, Gage is a beauty as well. So it's always fun to hop on there on the radio waves and talk shit. So chirp at us here, though. Get at us, whatever you want. Yeah, let us know what you're thinking, what's going on. And yeah, we'll try to answer some questions as we got about 5 to 10 minutes left in this intermission. Costanza, yeah, Lori, man, he's got like that new school, like TikTok kind of look. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like that head of lettuce where it's just like sitting off the top, where it's like a crispy piece of romaine. You know what I mean? Like all those kids that kind of go like it's almost like the old school bowl cut, but it's not really that. He's a funny kid though. There's just a couple times I talked to him. I think he likes to sneakily get after it. Actually, I don't want to sewer him here, but I remember last year when he signed with the Bruins. He was playing in Providence, but I think he had an off day there. And a couple of the boys on the Bruins were out. They also had an off day, and they were at Fenway, and they were at a bar kind of before a game or whatever. And Lori was sitting there just like with a couple of gals, like, you know, just got to town, like hanging out with a couple of chicks. So I just thought that was hilarious. The boys, like, I think they love him there. I think he fits right in. I think he's a beauty. So he's a good kid for sure. Really good buddies with my cousin, actually, Jake Schmaltz, who plays at UND. So Lori, fella, keep snapping it. It's great to see the kid out there. Voice. Gotta get some fucking shiny cough drops.
I think I was like born to not shut the fuck up because I don't really get a sore voice that much. No, unless I'm like screaming on a pod, and pretty much everyone in here probably knows this. I do a podcast called Wet Jeans, strictly NHL podcast, even though we never talk about sports. But yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I think I never really get a sore throat. Like I think, like I said, I think I was just born to run my goddamn mouth. But yeah, chat, talk to me. What are we doing here? We got about an hour left, maybe a little less, because we got to get down to Mullet Arena, and we're going to be boots on the ground down there. And unfortunately, we wanted to do something along the lines of a vlog or a live show, but right now it's just not in motion quite yet. But when we do get a media pass, we're going to go down there. We're going to have a live show. Not a live show, but like we're going to cover the game in person. I think that'll be a unique experience. I mean, when have you ever seen a couple guys like us allowed to walk around the rink with the camera and film and comment on the game? The NHL, it's so hard to get rights for any NHL shit. Thoughts on crab cake, Rob? Yeah, I actually don't like crab cakes, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I like stone crab, like the crab claws. When I'm feeling like not scared to spend a shit ton of money on my credit card, usually I go with the rock crab. Or no, the stone crab. They're in season now, but they're like $50 a claw. So I got to be really drunk and not giving a shit about money to order that. But as far as crab cakes go, I'm not too big of a fan. I'm not gonna lie to you. Lobster over crab, absolutely, 100% lobster guy. George Costanza, what kind of night is it? You know, you're asking the wrong guy because I'm on a sneaky bender right now. I'm on a literally beginning of the week bender, which I haven't done in a long time. I mean, I haven't done that in at least 6 months. So I've been drunk pretty much all week every week this week. So I don't know what kind of, and I got to fly out tomorrow. So I don't know what kind of night it is, man.
Yeah, it might be like a recovering addicts sober guy kind of night. I'm trying to think of like some beauties out there that, you know, are really tapped in and had to wean off the sauce, but it might be kind of one of those kind of nights, Heat Daddy.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't. Okay, now I'm getting the Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not a slew foot. I hate to beat. I just had it come up on my feed, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not, listen, I'm somewhat of a machine, but I
Right.
can't sit here and tell you I'm gonna booze 7 nights a week. Just not anymore.
Right. Yeah, you've kind of weaned off that a little bit as you're getting into your 30s and more of a veteran of the game, as we see Anze Kopitar right in his office, right in front of the net, playing out the Ottawa Senators. They're kind of a little bit of a dumpster fire right now, brother, in terms of just what's happening around the league. Shane Pinto Beans suspended 41 games. They just fired their GM and Pierre Dorian. So a little bit of a shit show over there. Checking in on this Florida Detroit game. We saw that. So nice highlight.
No goals in that game, huh?
That highlight was literally from an hour ago. But back to you, Bucci.
No, there's still no goals in that game, too. 0-0 in the second that game.
Oh my dish by Panarin. My God.
Based in New York?
That guy could just show up in playoffs. Jarvis. Sick.
Do you think Oshie's going to wear a neck guard for the rest of the year?
I don't know. I hate to say it, but like, is it more of a marketing move than anything?
Yeah. I think it's a weird move. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like I might try one on, might wear it in practice, but if you own the company, is it a little bit of a marketing move, whether or not? I don't know. I mean, who am I to say? I'm a guy sitting on the fucking couch right now, but yeah, little weird.
Getting a little bit of heat already for saying the Marchand thing wasn't intentional. I don't know. I keep watching it. It's just like they got.
Zamie Ben said, I don't know shit about fuck. I don't know shit about fuck. But can someone explain how a guy like Victor Mete goes from that dude to the minors so fast? Like, do you just get worse at hockey or lose confidence? I mean, for a guy speaking on it personally, like when you start getting scratched that much and you're getting fucked around with and you're getting traded, you're in new systems, and now you don't have someone behind you that's really believes in you, and you get into a game maybe 1 out of 5 and you play 10 minutes and I mean that puck feels like it's a fucking a hot it's like a hot potato in your hand, and you just have no confidence. Your mental game goes to shit. Your overall look of the game just changes, whether you go from being that dude to Joe Schmo on the sideline. So
Yeah.
I think it's just 100%. It's confidence, it's outlook. Like to come out of a situation like he's been through the ringer, you have to be so mentally tough, and I think you have to have just a special kind of skin to really see your way through that, because man, when you get chewed up and spit out like that, it's very hard to come back. And I think that's what you're looking at with Victor Mete. Was he ever that good? Now that's up for discussion as well. But at one point, he was a very highly touted prospect, especially coming out of the OHL and the London Knights. But yeah, I just think, you go from, like I always say, somebody actually told me this. I think it was James Wisniewski once told me, you go from prospect to suspect pretty goddamn quick.
Yeah, and it happens to a lot of guys, man. Like people always are like, "Oh, bust." It's like if you ever look at the stats of guys that get drafted and guys that make the league, it's usually under 50% of the guys drafted ever play one game in the fucking league.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I get it. If you're a first round pick or you're a high first round pick, and let's say like you're putting up crazy numbers in junior, and then you get to the league and your role changes, like, yeah, man, it's a really fucking hard league. It's the best league in the world.
Right.
So,
and it's so just like role oriented, right? Like you have to find like your special niche, unless you're like a top 6 forward or a top 4 defenseman that can come in the league and take somebody's job. Like, dude, there's not many spots on a team. And then if you're a guy that can only play a certain way, well, now your spots are very limited. So now, you're that, 2 spots is cut down to 1, and or it's 0 now. Or if you're a top 6 kind of forward and you can't play outside the top 6, well, now there's no job for you. So like, and guys, the good players, Rob, as you know, they stay in the league 8 to 12 years, sometimes longer.
Mhm.
So like those spots are just not just there being handed out. Like it's the reason why it's only about 600 players and 600 of the best in the whole world from ages 18 to 40. Realistically, I mean, it's absurd.
Yeah, I think the term bust gets thrown around too much. To me personally, a bust is somebody who has all the tools it takes to be a factor in the league, and they throw it away themselves. Like, what I mean by that is it's not because of injury, it's not because of the system they're in, it's not because of like a coach or whatever. It's them just going full Jamarcus Russell and going to
Yeah.
the Rippers every
Yeah.
night with your boys and spending $60,000 at the strip club every single night. That's when I put somebody in bust territory. I mean, for the most part, like you said, if a guy gets drafted into a team that has dudes that are 8-9 years in their career, those spots aren't going to get let up. If you have a guy that gets hurt, there's a lot of different scenarios that people don't really think about. They just see, oh, draft pick this, draft pick that, bust, bust, bust.
Yeah. I mean, even just speaking on like my situation, like you come in and you get drafted, you're right-handed defenseman, right? Like I'm just speaking on me because that's what I know. Like you get in there and you got Alex Pietrangelo, you got Kevin Shattenkirk, and then nobody knew Colton Parayko was going to be 6'6" and just could step into a. I mean, that guy's a freak. So like, and then you got Robbie Bortuzzo, who's a guy that brings an element none of those three bring. So he's going to be on the force side in case someone goes down because he can go window and out and he can PK, he can fight. Like there's just not that many spots. And, you know, a lot of teams like to hang on to these prospects because they are valuable, especially if someone goes down. They can call them up from the minors. They can groom them in. Maybe they need them in a couple of years. But at that point, you know, if you don't make it in that short window they give you in, you know, say 2 or 3 years, well, now your value is everyone views you across the league as because it's so competitive and there's so many good players. Well, now that guy can't play, you know, we'll just go find someone that's younger, cheaper and develop them. Right. So it's just, it's so competitive as people, I don't think really realize like how many good players are up. Like how many guys in the AHL right now could step in and play in the NHL? I would honestly say the bottom two lines in the NHL are very interchangeable between American Hockey League players, and I would say the bottom pair in an NHL team is very interchangeable between an American Hockey League, you know, number 1 and 2. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. Dookie Shoes 16 says, Dookie Shoes, think it's also because of how highly NHL prospects get hyped up compared to other sports. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think football has a lot of guys hyped up, but with football, there's no minors.
Well, and also in football, you're getting drafted, you know, after 3 years of college. You kind of know what that guy is at this point, right?
Good point.
In hockey, you're getting drafted at 18 years old. I mean, it's the youngest draft in all of sports. You know, basketball is 19, but even so, you still get 1 year of college under your belt where you can kind of tell what these guys are going to be. In hockey, man, you're rolling the dice. I mean, these kids are 17 years old most of the year, and then they get drafted in June when they, you know, turn 18 in that second part of the year. So I just think it's so much different, you know, in terms of, you know, just the age and, you know, getting drafted out of junior versus, you know, either playing a year professionally or, you know, a year in the minors or just a year like, you know, whatever it is in college. So.
Yeah, and folks, we are back for the second period. We got 19:31 on the clock. If you're following along with us, we are watching the Boston Bruins play the Toronto Maple Leafs at the TD Garden. America's most trusted bank, America's best bank, TD Garden. McAvoy over to Packavoy over to Jackavoy. We're at 19:31 remaining in the second period. If you want to pause your TVs or do whatever you can to follow along with us. And still just reading through Twitter and having a lot of people. One guy said that we're dense and it was a clear trip by Marchand. I just disagree, man. I mean, anyway, back to the game here is Morgan Riley and somebody gets tied up there.
JVR still snapping around the league. He's a veteran of the game, guy that's only played in 2 organizations up until this point, joining the Boston Bruins, guy that played in Toronto a long time with Phil Kessel and a guy named Tyler Bozak, who was a great little player, won a mug in St. Louis. Good dude. What a pass
what a JVR. Save by Samsonov.
My God.
On the doorstep. You're going to want to, you know, give that a roof job with a 15-year warranty. You know, you got to get that puck up.
Who did he absolutely rob there? Who's number 39?
Who's number 39 on the Bruins? Was that JV? That wasn't JVR, was it?
JVR made the pass, but JVR's a left-hander. Who's number 39? Oh, that's Geeky.
Yeah. Oh, Morgan Sneaky Geeky.
Sneaky Geeky with the pink visor. Is he wearing that this year again? My God, was that ugly.
I actually know why he wears a pink visor.
Was it like an eye thing or something?
Yeah, so he has an eye. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but he has an eye thing going on. It's not for looks and it's not for concussions. It's something to help his vision be more precise.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to get that puck up. I think he tried. It was kind of a fadeaway right there, but nonetheless, good save by Samsonov.
Yeah, it looked like he was almost going far pad there with it. Got to get that thing up, fella. A little Cialis on that don't hurt. Gotta get it up.
Chat, say whatever you want. We'll go to you guys in commercial. Right now we're back to the game as Poppy. Big Poppy has the puck into the corner, gets bumped by Lindholm.
Yeah, Lindholm, big burly defenseman back there for the Bruins. That's a great little pickup.
The Bruins are doing it. Oh, here's DeBrusk enters the zone.
Oh, what a dish.
Oh!
You just knew that was going in somehow, right?
Such a good play by DeBrusk to follow up there, too.
Follow up, but the fact that whenever you can get that puck from the outside to the inside like that on a rush play, you know what I mean? Just a little baby sauce to Marchand inside the dots, him streaking through the middle, gets a nice little shot on it. But, I mean, Samsonov, no chance there as DeBrusk really does a good job, you said, following it up, right? Always go to the net. Always go to the net. You never know, Rob.
Now, Samsonov makes a great play here, but if you're a forward, you have to tie up. DeBrusk kind of walks in here untouched, right here, untouched.
Yeah. But you notice how what makes the whole play is, that little cross and drop play they make there. So, Marchand streaks through to that, strong side post, able to make the cross, confuses the D. The other D has to go with him and Legson, and now that leaves, a little bit of space for, the trailer right there, right?
Yeah.
DeBrusk is able to bury that one home. Folks, 2-0 in this game. God damn it, I had Boston losing this match. I took Toronto money line, so they got to get going. Poppy had him scoring. So, folks, come on, baby. Let's get Toronto going here.
I think I know what they need right now. I'm going to go ahead and they need Ryan Reeves to put. Here we go. As I said it, Ryan Reeves stirring the pot. I think that's what they need right now. They need to get the boys going. And listen, the Bruins are doing a hell of a fucking job keeping them to the outside. Like even Big Poppy and Nylander and Marner are trying to get to the middle there. Oh, they showed it again. Fucking Christ.
Jiminy Christmas. That is not great.
So Marchand's stick.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So it was his stick that went into his feet because I think he was trying to get first touch on that pill. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to get the puck, and does he know where his feet are? I don't know. He is a little bit of a dirty player. You know that, Rob, and he's smart enough to, I think, kind of walk that line. Now, was that on purpose? I think you can go either way with that, right?
I mean, someone's a textbook can opener. Like, oh yeah, when I watch it again, that's the thing about commenting on plays. Like, I gotta watch it a couple times. Like,
right, and you gotta watch it at full speed too, because anytime you slow it really down, it's like, well, fuck, like, yeah, when it's in slow motion, it's pretty easy to fucking cut it up, and you got a pause button. But like at real time, I think that's where you really notice it. And to me, at real time, like, I don't know, like it doesn't really look like a true can opener.
He goes stick on stick though.
That's what I mean. I think he's trying to get to the puck.
It's like he goes stick on. I don't want to harp on this all fucking night, but he goes stick on stick, and then he tries to come back with it, like you said, and get the puck.
So he's trying to tie him up. So he can get to that puck because that puck's going to be on his right shoulder, right? So he's trying to tie him up, get inside position, and then ultimately he can kind of skate into that puck. To me, I don't know, man. Like,
I don't want to Bryce Harp on it.
No, but. Yeah.
All right, we got a 17:34 remaining. Yeah, it is Marchand. Yes, he does have the most fines in the NHL, but still, like,
I don't know. I think to me, like, especially as a forechecker like that, he's trying to tie him up, get inside position because that puck is coming up the wall at that point. And if he can get on the inside of Liljegren's right shoulder, Marchand's left to tie him up, get under it, and now he's got looking up ice with a play to make. To me, that's just incidental contact. Folks, as who's going to the power play here? We have the
Toronto
Maple Leafs. Pastrnak just took a penalty. Let's take another look at this one. Yep. I mean, like I like to say, any league that's a trip, even though it's incidental, he ties them, he kind of trips them up with his feet there. TJ Brody, the human clock killer. Oh my God, what a middle outlet there by Klinberg. Holy shit, that was sick on the backhand from the point like that in the coffin corner. How are you?
And just in per Elliott, Charlie McAvoy is planning on appealing his 4-game suspension, which I completely agree with.
Well, yeah, I mean, he saw the same thing we did. He saw OEL start the game tonight in the Motor City. He's like, what the fuck's going on here? I thought his chin was fucking buried 6 feet under. He gave me 4 games for this. Georgie Peros, hey, buddy, cut this in half. I think it's a 2-gamer,
Yeah.
That's fair. Stock 2, you know what I mean? Nothing more, nothing less. He did bury his chin, right? Like he knew where it was, a little chicken wing. I don't mind it. I like a guy that's going to maybe get suspended once or twice a year, especially as a defenseman.
Yep.
Be unpredictable. Like, be that type of defenseman where you don't know, the other team doesn't know that you're going to might bring that criminal element at any odd time.
Yeah, we got a minute 20 left on the power play here, and Toronto looking a little bit sloppy here. And I think Swish, we're gonna have time to only do this period, I believe, maybe even less. I mean, it's
we'll grind through this period. I think we'll take it right up to about 6:30 or whatever, and it should be about another 20, 30 minutes here in this period, and maybe not have time for the third because we're probably gonna have to cut to commercial, and that doesn't really make sense just to hang out as much as that sucks to say. But we're going to Mullet Arena tonight, Heat Daddy, and we're going to go take in some live action. So this is a double header for us. We are on the goddamn clock, boots on the ground. We have Montreal, Arizona over 6.5 goals. We want to see an action-packed Thursday at Mullet Arena as Tavares makes a nifty little play into his boots and kind of fires a saucer pass over to Klingberg that doesn't connect and sends it 200 feet. The Bruins do as Mitch Marner collects a puck behind the net. And folks, there's 30 seconds and counting in this power play as Morgan Riley winds it up.
And we're going to get to that in just a second. We got one person talking about the Marchand injury again, but all right, we got 20 seconds left in the power play. Toronto needs to score some goals, man.
Yep.
Like, didn't they get shut out last game or one goal? I think it was just one. Oh, there it is.
Oh my God, shoot that! No, fella, Mitchie, put that on net. No, I mean you can't.
You can't try to go
drag there
on the power play. Ooh,
that was good wood. Tiger Wood. Kerry Wood.
Elijah Wood.
Who am I thinking of? A Wood. Rob Wood.
Verda. I wish they had the shot totals on ESPN. Like, why don't they have the shots up?
Yeah, I mean, they should at least be showing it a little bit on that ticker just to right of the score. I don't know. As Lindholm rounds the net and goes back for a puck over to Shagkirk playing in his 900th game, Heining over skates. Oh my God. As Gregor. I mean, if this guy could bury, right?
Fucking Christ, Gregor.
Jesus. If he could bury, he'd work at a funeral home.
Ayo.
It's got to be going to a 13-minute marker, I believe, is the timeout. Chat, what do we got going? Zikamos, is it pretty awesome watching a game at a mall? Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. It's a great atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. It's very intimate, right? It's 35 to 4,000 seats. With the suites, I believe it might be maybe 4,500. But yeah, it's so fun seeing National Leaguers that up close and personal. I personally love to stand just kind of on the top deck and take it all in because I think that's the best view. The bowl gets a little bit cut off, and especially if you're in the corner. But yeah, it's awesome, especially when a Canadian team's in town or a team like Chicago where there's a lot of snowbirds down here. They travel well or they now live here. Usually it's pretty sold out. So yeah, it's fun.
Dude, Adam Fox just left the game, is not returning after a knee on knee.
Who hit him?
Aho, it was weird. It was.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a weird one there. Almost seems like it's like incidental, but like last second he kind of sees him.
Was it National Knee on Knee Night? Everybody's getting kneed.
We're talking knees. We're talking missionary, folks. 2-0, 14-15 and counting left in this game. Boston leading the Toronto Maple Leafs. An original 6 matchup live from TD Bank Garden as they show the Silver Fox, Sheldon Keefe. He is a proud Arizona native in the offseason. Sheldon, believe he married a gal that went to ASU, Rob.
Whoa.
Actually share the same barber as Sheldon. I played for Sheldon a little bit in the minors. So good guy, throws both ways. Arizona guy. Folks, live here from Hockey Night in Scottsdale. Thursday night, we have Boston, Toronto. Mason Lohrei dancing. Oh, my God. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I missed it.
That was sick. This Lohrei kid, man, fuck, he's good. Wow.
Jersey Mike's just taking over the NHL with their ads.
Oh, my God. I was speaking of Jersey Mike's when I was leaving L.A. after on Saturday. There's a Jersey Mike's in the airport there.
Yeah.
So sick.
I've been to it.
My God. I was thinking about you the whole time. I was like, I'm so hungry. I actually might have to get this.
Yeah, I actually got food poisoning from Jersey Mike's one time.
Really?
From the lettuce, I think. I didn't eat. Oh! Mitch Marner out of nowhere.
Mitch Marner fired that thing right under the Boston tunnel. My God. You know what they say, Heat Daddy? All big goals are scored on the river, and that one was right along the river, right on the ice. What a dish, though, by who was that? Willie Stiles? Yeah, great dish. Oh, what a move. That's a great shot.
34.
That is a great shot. He turned
That was
Arlo
sick.
inside out.
All in one
Oh, it's
motion.
tipped too a little bit there.
Oh, imagine Matthews tipped it. That would have been money.
Yeah, that would have been confirmed Eddie money.
That
What
was so sick.
Oh, man. That was sick.
All right, the money line's back in play, George Costanza. You're absolutely right.
Money line's back in play, folks. I wish, Poppy would have got a piece of that, but for them to win the game, they got to score a goal anyway. So, Mitchie Marner, that's why you pay him the big bucks there. Sick pass by both Willie Stiles and our boy Poppy. I mean, it's just so crazy, just the different feel of a playoff hockey game versus a regular season. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Who threw an absolute pizza there? Oh, my Hampus Lindholm. That was hot and ready, fresh off a $5 Little Caesar special. Oh, my God. That was a sick shot.
34, the absolute cannon from the slot. Good play by 85.
Yeah. Legson. That was an absolute piss missile by 34.
He's going to get it again, too. Let it rip. No. I was going to say, shoot through traffic there.
Do not shoot that, man. Like, I hate when defensemen just fire it.
Oh! Oh, my God.
I heard Poppy outside, folks.
Oh, my God.
My God. That was Knife Talk, 21 Savage featuring Drake. Holy fuck.
Absolute piss bomb.
Oh, my God. Folks, it's Movember. He has the duster out. Holy fuck, was that a rip. Dude, that was pissed on.
Oh, my God.
Where grandma hides the fucking Percocets or fucking dildo. I don't even know. That thing was nipped.
Fuck, I was going to take that, too.
That was top titty. Folks, that one hits. Austin Matthews, anytime score. We got a 2-2 game. Toronto money line just like that is back in the mix. Yeah, boy, over here, fella.
That was an absolute rope.
That was a frozen rope. That's like Johnny Sins coming across your camera. Oh, my God. Holy frozen rope, folks. On set with Rachel Starr and Johnny Sins.
Whoa.
Holy jumping. Yeah, that thing was laced. My God.
It's laced like a Mexican 8-ball. I'm going to tweet. I'm going to tweet that.
Laced like a Mexican 8-ball straight out of Nogales via Tijuana.
I'm going to tweet the Tijuana part too.
100%.
I always scroll and I keep looking for the highlight.
Upstairs where grandma, that was upstairs where grandma, I think she's hiding a vibrator, her Percocets, and I don't even cough syrup. Who fucking knows? That's all three of those things up there, brother. That's the top shelf, man. That's a bottle of Ace of Spades right off the top shelf. Folks, if you're just joining us, if you're just popping in, we are live from TD Bank Garden, or if you've been with us for a little bit, we are at the 11:40 marker of the second period as John Klingberg goes back for a puck and bitches out on it, of course, because Trent Frederick was coming in. That guy is a little scary on the sheet. Good player out of St. Louis, Missouri. Folks, 11 minutes left to go in the second period. We are tied up. Again, if you were following along on Twitter and you were able to get the bet in before the game, I had Austin Matthews anytime score that just hit and Toronto money line. Worst lead in hockey is always 2. So we're knotted back up at 2 apiece. Mitchie Marner and Big Poppy, number 34, getting the boys going. The big dogs are out tonight. Boston had a nice little start. Mason Lohrei looks really good in his debut. Folks, as Boston takes another penalty, Toronto going to the power play. Rob, I think it's crazy to say. I think they're scoring again. I think Matthews might score.
I'm crafting up a tweet right now. I'll be right back.
Folks, we're going to commercial break. Chirp at us, get at us in the comment section. Bob Gucci is Robert crafting up a tweet. as we are about 10 minutes or halfway through the second period, live from Scottsdale, beautiful North Scottsdale, Arizona. We're going to watch this period, and then we are actually heading over to the iconic Mullet Arena tonight, where, again, one of my bets that I was Swish's lock of the night was over 6.5 goals. That is the Montreal Canadiens visiting your Arizona Desert Dogs. I like Clayton Keller to get in the mix tonight. I like Nick Schmaltz, a couple points. Those guys, last game, they were at the Mullet. They won 8-1 and they had 0 points. So they actually were -1, I believe.
Yeah, that was insane.
Which is hilarious to think about them not getting on the score sheet. But thank God for a guy like Spicy Tuna O'Brien, who we shouted out earlier, had the Gordie Howe hat trick. That was the first of the National Hockey League season. And then a teammate of his, Jack McBain, was able to follow it up and have 2-2 also with the fight. So boys are throwing both ways on Monday night, back at Mullet tonight against a original 6 team. Cole Caulfield, shout out friend of the show. Christian Dvorak not in the lineup tonight, but those guys, a couple beauties. So looking for a big night. Let's see if Tuna can follow it up. I believe Tuna had an apple last night, so this guy's hotter than a goddamn pistol. If Tuna O'Brien scores tonight, I'm getting a Spicy Tuna jersey.
Yeah, if he scores tonight, I'm going to go straight to Ocean 44 and order the Spicy Tuna.
Yeah. If Tuna scores tonight, how about if Tuna scores tonight, we have to booze at Moxie's. That's a deal.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, what are the chances? Like, is he going to score? How many goals did he have last year? 2?
Yeah, but he's hot as hell this year. I'll tell you what. I might place a wager on that. I've kind of been scared of betting recently since I've been getting smoked, but
just been bent over, eh?
Yeah, I think I might take the Keller anytime goal, Schmaltz anytime goal.
Yeah, just throw a little action on it.
And the over?
I like the over. I just think it's going to be the way Montreal plays. They just play up and down, and I think the Coyotes want to, especially I know like Nick's line, like they're going to want that track meet. I think it's just going to be just trading chances all night.
Yeah.
Watch we go to the game. It's 1-0.
Come on, Klingberg. There you go. I can't get over it. That was an absolute piss missile from Matthews.
Such a sick shot. Like,
oh, there it is again.
Oh my God. Swayman, the kid out of Alaska. Matthews is just like, how did that puck not come to me is what he's thinking. You know, because he was sitting a little bit on the outside there. Let's watch this replay back. So sick pass here. How does he not go far side with that? But this puck here, like Matthews is sitting there, he's like, fuck. Oh, man. Right over. Red Rover.
All right, folks, we are live with 1:44 remaining in the Toronto power play here as Lowry gets it out. Yep, he gets it out.
Lowry playing on the penalty kill, too. Wow. They're playing him all ways, man. That's the thing I like about Jimmy Montgomery. Like, he's not scared to play a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, some coaches, like, you go out there and you play, like, 4 minutes and you don't even really see what you have. Like Jimmy Montgomery, you go out there, he's a guy who's like, I'm gonna fucking play you like you do in Providence. I want you to give you a legit shake here, and I think it just takes a set of stones on a coach. I mean, it's the right thing to do, but most guys, you know, their balls just clench up because they see a rookie. But Lowry out here playing the penalty kill.
Oh, yeah, no, I love Jimmy Montferda.
Jimmy Montferda, former Jack Adams winner last year, even though they lost in the first round. Beauty, full-time beauty.
Oh shit! God. Here we go.
Good thing Johnny Beecher doesn't have a set of hands.
And he gets Bundy kind of after that. And Charlie Coyle's been quiet this year, making 5 and a hook or 5.25, I think he makes.
Yeah, he's just kind of one of those. He's like, to me, he's like a comfort, you know, like one of those just middle 6 kind of players. Oh my God. These guys
my! If that went in, I would have absolutely covered myself in canola oil.
Oh my God. The type of magic you only find at Sugar 44.
That's a high stick.
He got absolutely whacked in the face.
Who's Tavares going to there?
I don't know, but Matthews just wore one, dude.
That puck movement was absolutely belligerent. Holy shit.
That was like Harlem Globetrotters, dude. That was like Phil Jackson triangle offense. That was amazing. You guys are absolutely snapping at Flow State University.
What a different game from the first period, too. Yep. I mean, Toronto was just nowhere to be found. They still have that Halloween hangover, and they have turned it up here in the second. Holy fucking shit. Man, Pastrnak, just no matter what play he makes, it's always like the right one and something happens. Like he just casually threw it on net there and DeBrusk almost got a rebound.
He's such a cerebral player. You know what I mean? He kind of reminds me of like...
Hold the palsy, though.
Yeah, just like Yeah, hold the palsy for, but he's like Kawhi Leonard, back in the day when he actually was good and played games like with Toronto.
Mhm.
Like during that whole playoff run, like he just like he's taking his time, he takes his sweet time, he gets to his spot, he knows where his players are. Those guys that are just cerebral, that kind of just beat to their own drum, is such a special talent because he's not like overly, he's fast, but he's not really, he's always in control. He's never a guy that's
Right.
going a million miles an hour.
Right. Yeah.
Like he knows his delay plays. He knows where to pull up. He's never like really skating, just crazy out there. Like if he has to, yeah, but it's not a lot. That's a high stick, no?
Yeah. They called
Shaq
pass
stick.
earlier, and I gotta give it to Jeremy Swayman. I mean, he's kind of playing out of his mind right now. I mean, he's made a ton of good saves. I didn't know if that play they'll show it right now, if you got a piece of it or what happened here. Let's see.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god,
The
what a
way
save!
the way he attacked him, like out of the, because he was low in the paint. The way he came out and got this glove on it, watch him. He T pushes, and he comes back, slides into it, and just that's a great save, man. That is a great save. Wow.
What a play though by Matthews and Nylander. I love Nylander, man. He is so goddamn fun to watch.
I know. I mean, we were talking about him earlier. It's just like I think every day he plays, like the Leafs, like the prices are going up, and I think he's just laughing to the bank. I mean, I don't know what you can get away with paying this guy. I mean, it's obviously going to be full signing bonus like the Leafs always do. They just give you your cake every July 1st. You get a check for like $10 million or $15 million. You know what I mean? Like every year. But like, what can you get away with paying? What is he going to agree to? Like, I don't think it's not south of 10.
No.
Like he's looking at Marner and he's probably thinking, fuck, I'm better than him. Like,
Yeah.
that's what he's saying in his head. I mean, he had 40 goals last year.
According to the chat, Caulfield anytime is free money tonight. That's what Max399 says. He says he's scoring.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like Caulfield to score. I think he's going to get one on the power play on that right wall. He's going to fire one, just nip it right over the fucking little chin music on, I believe Connor Ingram's playing tonight. So
is he again?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I believe that's what I read. Yeah, unless my betting app's lying to me. They had Ingram going, so Veggie was last night. So I think on a back to back, they're probably going to go with Ingram, especially with Veggie. I don't think he was unbelievable last night, even though he's probably the starter. Folks, we have about 7 minutes left. We are after that. I think Rob, we're going to pack it up for the night and head over to Mullet Arena because we have to catch live action in that game. We are attending the Coyotes versus Montreal game. Over 6.5 goals. Cole Caulfield, anytime scorer. If you're placing a wager and you want a prop bet, I would say Clayton Keller with a goal tonight. I mean, that's not rocket science, but he's been cold for the last couple of games, so I look for him to bounce back and get on the board.
Yeah, he's going to bounce back. He's a guy that I think can truly touch 100 points. I really believe that. I mean, and good players always bounce back. I'm a big bounce back guy, especially when it comes like to NFL. If guys have not talk about the NFL, let's just take it back to hockey there. If a guy's a good player and he has a cold streak, that's the best time to bet on him. I'm not a gambling expert by any means, but they're gonna bounce back no matter what. Like if I see like a Matthews or a Keller or somebody like that with like zeros across the board for 2 or 3 games, hammer that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially 3, or 2 or 3. I mean, you're looking at a guy that had, what do you have, 38 rips last year, something like that. Keller 35, 38, somewhere in there, just under 40. I mean, statistically, that's one every other game. Yeah. So you gotta, if he hasn't scored for 2 or 3 games, hammer the fuck out of that because you'd like to think that he's going to get on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And the puck drops.
Dan Heinen, good to see him back in the league. He was kind of waiting on a PTO for the Bruins to give him a deal. Ended up signing earlier this week at a number at $775. I think he's a great depth piece. He's a guy that, if he has 20 to 30 points, that's perfect, right? And he can play on the third line. Really smart, heady players. Played in the league for 8-9 years. Played for Jimmy Montgomery, aka Jimmy Ferda at Denver. So he knows the player. Actually recruited him to play there. So really nice piece, I think, to add heady player, especially come playoff time. Klimberg, what are you doing, fella? That's offside.
Where is that lid available for sale, Mr. Gucci? Got another one asking.
Wow, yeah, that Sioux geometric logo. So I did those for the whole Sioux team up there, the UND boys. Hooked them up with some butter golf, and I had a couple extra laying around, and I've just been kind of dishing them out to former teammates, guys that played with at school at UND. So they're not for sale. That's the one thing. But I'm telling people I would do a custom order if you want to order a dozen of them. So if you have 11, as Yarncroc almost finds the cage. If you want to order a dozen or a baker's dozen of them, I'll do a special order for you. Oh, Mitchie Marner, nice little strip there. But yeah, those are a Butter Golf limited edition North Dakota Sioux hat.
Man, the Leafs have really turned it up. I don't know if Boston, it's showing that they're really missing some players now.
This is all natural, baby. There's
Yeah.
no snow. There's no snow in this system, baby.
That's when you know you're good. I mean, we talk for 3 straight hours usually on the broadcast, and that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, you got to have another level of buzz to you. I mean, that just is what it is. It's hockey night, baby. This is all natural.
It's hockey night in Scottsdale, and as Ryan Reeves charges forward and gets it deep, and good play by Revo there. Killing the clock.
Revo, dump it in and go find it.
Yeah, Boston real sloppy in their own zone. Good save by Swayman now. I mean, at this point, this game should be fucking 5-2 if it's not for Swayman.
Yeah, at least. I mean, and Costanza fella, Thursday night, sneakiest night to get in one in all of sports.
All of sports.
Oh my Reeves, just chin hunting.
Ooh, Dan Heinen barely slips. Did Lilgren ever come back? No, right?
No,
I figured he was done.
Yeah, he's at the world's greatest bar right across the street. Greatest bar. 4:45 and counting, folks. I hope my voice stays with me as we got about 5 to 7 minutes left in this cast, watching ESPN Hockey Night via Hockey Night in Scottsdale, live from the TD Bank Garden.
If you're Boston here, what do you think you do to kind of get get your game going again? I mean, they had a good first period. It's been all Toronto in the second.
Well, to me, watching this game, it's been a 3-quarter offense for the Leafs the whole time. They can't even get past the red line, Boston, right? So when you're constantly just, turning pucks over before the red line, especially in the second period, you can't make any changes. So the Leafs have really established that 3-quarter ice offense where they're able to get it in, get sustained, pressure, zone time that leads to chances. Boston really hasn't had the puck at all in, Toronto's zone, and a couple penalties here and there. They have no momentum. So I think getting back to their forecheck, getting the puck behind Toronto's defense, especially this little neutral zone trap, will be very beneficial for them really, trying to break out of this and going into the third period.
Yeah, I think if you're Boston right now, I mean, you have to do something that'll rock the boat, whether it's a big hit, whether it's elbowing someone in the head. But yeah, they need something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say you start double shifting Pasternak and shit like that, but I think maybe you shorten the bench just for the end of the second, maybe.
Yeah, and they're going to get a little chance here with DeBrus. Not a bad shot there.
DeBrus's been all over it tonight. He's been very noticeable.
Yep. And Lohrei, I'm telling you, Lohrei he might not come out of the lineup.
He's a fucking big boy, huh? I didn't know that. They just showed him 6'5".
His stick, though, dude. Look how long that twig is. Like, Jesus, he's using the fucking Zuccarello. What a move there by Marchie.
That was sick. Little Papa John's.
Too much Zeus.
Too wide. DeBrusque has been on the ice for 5 minutes here.
Yep. Yeah, he's got good legs. Leave him out there.
Oh, it gets through, too.
Tavares, yeah, he'll dump that thing and go find it.
It's a good shift from Boston. I mean, that's what they needed. They absolutely can't let up a goal here at the end of the second. So, Klingberg, I fucking knew that was going to happen, too. Now they're going to get, yep.
I love that. Just trying to make a little toey.
Yeah.
As if you know if that works, he's tucking. Oh my God, Matty Nyes is absolutely flying down the middle of the ice. Willie Stiles, fella.
It somehow works. Good save by Swayman again, dude. Swayman is absolutely dialed on the second chance there by Tavares.
Wish Sonny Magic Hands Milano was out here. I need to see a Michigan.
Yeah, he's the best. Friend of the show, Sonny Milano.
Folks, 152 left to play in the second frame. We have the score knotted at a pair in the second period. Live from TD Bank Garden, beautiful Boston on the northwest side, just across the street from the greatest bar. Folks, the Garden, for those that don't know, is on the second level. Kind of weird, but kind of cool. Get right off the subway, hit your one hitter, maybe do a key bump, and you're in right at the front door. Hockey Night in Scottsdale is brought to you by the Heat Daddy, Wet Jeans, and Butter Golf. Butter Golf is the official sponsor of Live and Five. And before we head over to Mullet Arena, well, we'll open up the chat one last time here, Heat Daddy. What do we got? Anyone asking questions out there? Do they have anything for the fellas?
Nothing so far besides we need to sign Brian Johnson and bring back Mitchell Miller. Where are you guys checking in from tonight? I don't think I asked. Everyone in the chat, where are you guys from?
Where are you tapping in from, fella?
The chat's not as active as it was on Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
Is that because of Thursday night football? What do you think there? But we've done Monday night too, and
maybe
I don't know. We've done Monday night right in the middle of football as well. So yeah, I don't know.
I think Tuesday's a good night.
Yeah, Tuesday's probably the night.
Cape Cod pussies. Shout out to Cape Cod.
Thursday, I think some people might start flooring it too.
Yeah, they might be out too, especially the college kids.
Yeah, they might just be fucking getting drunk.
Yeah, Thursday night was huge in college. It was such a college night, but
so was Wednesday and Tuesday. But
for those of you that are here though, thank you for joining. We're not going to address that, and so I know you keep bringing it up, but it's just something we're not going to talk about here.
What are they talking about?
Very persistent about the main mass shooting. I'm not exactly sure what you want us to say, but we are coming back now to the game as Charlie McAvoy was suspended 4 games. He will be appealing that suspension. Kind of beauty.
Oh yeah, he's taking that right to the the Department of Players Safety and saying, "Hey, Peros, OEL, he played tonight in Motor City. He was actually at MGM Casino last night betting a goddamn farm on a couple ponies. Let me back in, baby." This is getting down to 2 games. I could see
I think
him
it's getting to 2. Yeah,
I think you get it 2. Maybe they'll cut it down to maybe 3, but I can't see it being the full 4. It just doesn't make sense. He's playing tonight. Like, punishment don't fit the crime there. The glove don't fit.
Yep. You must have quit.
We have about 90 seconds in the second frame, kind of boiling down in the second period. It's been a great little period here. Actually, this is probably the best period of hockey we've watched to date during the Hockey Night in Scottsdale.
Yep. I agree.
Leafs look really good, flying around the ice. Boston had an early push. Now they've kind of worn off. So going into the third period, I think this is it's anyone's game. I don't think that's fucking rocket science in itself, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we weren't going to the Mullet, this would be a great one to finish out here. Tie game, but it is what it is. We got to be boots on the ground for the game. But yeah, you know what, folks? We're always here. We're here every week, and we do the full game. Whatever game we're watching, we try to pick the one that's on national TV or the one that has the most buzz. And as the storylines develop across the season, we'll have way more specific reasons for watching whatever games we watch. As you see Noah Gregor heading toward the bench here, looking good in Toronto blue. 47 seconds remaining, and for both teams here, Switch, you don't want to let one up. It's what you don't want to do with a minute left.
What do those coaches always say? Don't let one in the first minute of the period, especially the last minute. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. That would be told by your drunk Pee Wee coach back in the day when you're playing AA hockey, or maybe you're on the Bantam B team. You just don't want to get scored on in that last minute of a period. And it is true, right? It's just there's so much momentum at stake. So right now, if you're both teams, you kind of you're playing out the clock. Toronto obviously trying to get one late here as they establish a little bit of a ground game in their Boston's end. But 28 seconds here left. We got a little face-off at the left dot. I believe Matthews will probably come over the boards here if Sheldon Keefe has any sort of backbone, and they'll try to put the heat on. So, the boys are coming over the boards.
Yep. And so the Pinto suspension, yeah, we both agreed that it was just too much, but unfortunately, you can't be doing what he was doing. Dumb mistake. NHL wants to make a name out of him, and it just came out publicly, and we kind of knew beforehand, but he just had a buddy log into his account when he was in a non-gambling state, and you just can't do that. It's just a stupid mistake, and hopefully
it's kind of, it's Bush League, but I just think the NHL, it's just so funny that they all have all these betting apps and all this gambling action. Yeah, and exactly. Now a guy can't even have a buddy put in a bet for him. Like, yeah, you can't be doing that, but 41 games, he didn't go full Pete Rose. Dude.
That's so fucked up.
Like, it should be like 10 games. But I just think it's a player that you can suspend, right? He's not under contract right now. He's a younger player. They want to make an example. That all comes into it, right? Like that was a perennial all-star. Is he getting 41 games?
Fuck no.
No chance, because it's bad for the game, right? So it's just it's always just situational. That's life, though, Heat Daddy. You know it. It ain't fair, baby. And that's the end of 2. Folks, we are not at a pair, as we will be closing up shop, heading to Mullet Arena. Again, hammer the fucking shit out of the over. 6 and a hook. That's 6-5. And we will be providing live updates once we are boots on the ground. Follow our Twitters. Follow our Instagrams. Folks, that is Thursday Night Hockey. Heat Daddy, unless you got anything else, we out.
Nope, that's it. Thanks to everyone that joined today and contributed to the chat and hang out with us every week where we cover all the games. And thank you for joining. We're going to cut tonight short because, like we said, we're going to Tempe, baby. Boots on the ground tonight. Everyone have a great night. Have a safe night. And thank you again for joining. And thanks to everyone that contributed in the chat. It means a lot. Zigamos, you have fun too. George Costanza, you have fun too. And we're out of here. Goodbye.